The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
We know Justin Fields won't be in the Jets' future plans. Glenn struck out with that pick. He can't strike out again. What's the Jets' path to getting their quarterback room of the future set? We'll discuss that and much more with Jeff Parles. It's Christmas Eve. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now. Here we go, here on Christmas Eve. Big shout out to everyone who tuned in this morning from 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern time. Great to host with Jordan Ronan of ESPN, covers the Giants, knows his New York sports. I'm solo tomorrow from 8 a.m. until 11:30, leading into Knicks pregame coverage. Knicks missed at MSG. I'll be going to the game, so no live show tomorrow. We will have a live show again on Friday, but I'm doing morning drive on ESPN New York for the rest of this week and then all of next week. So get up early, 6 to 10 a.m. Make sure you listen on 8:80 a.m. or download the ESPN New York app. Click the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Again, happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas. And tomorrow, Merry Knicksmas. Let's say hello to our guy out in the desert. It's our man, Jeff Parles, who joins us now. Jeff, the New York Jets are now 3-12. And yesterday, they placed Justin Fields on IR. Happy holidays. How are we feeling?
Good morning. It is pouring rain here because we can't get cold enough for snow, which I will say here in Vegas, if it snowed with the amount of rain I've seen already just in like an hour and 20 minutes, we probably would not be able to move for probably about 4 days. But Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everyone. And Jake, 2 more games for the Jets to lose that can at least fortify a top 4 pick, but hopefully it will be higher than that by the end of 2 Sundays from now.
Now, Jeff, you're based in Vegas. Are you going to attend the biggest game of the Jets season between the Giants and the Raiders?
Thank you for asking this, Jake. So I was actually kicking this around on Monday. I was hosting on ESPN Vegas on Monday, and I was kicking this around with my guy, Jonathan Von Doppel, who was hosting with me because Steve Cofield, who is the usual host of the show, was in Frisco, Texas for that horrible bowl game yesterday that UNLV just no-showed for against Ohio. And we were talking about, like, John had never been, my co-host had never been to an NFL game before. I'm like, dude, this has got to be the first game you ever go to. Like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, right? Like, the Jets have been in this sort of game in the past, but this is different. Like, no rooting interest. The 2 worst teams in the NFL. The loser gets the first pick. The winner. I mean, if the Raiders win, the Raiders could fall like all the way to number 5 by the time this is all said and done. We have one connection that is trying to get us in for no cost, because I can't justify spending any money on going to see those teams play, Jake. Can't justify it. But if I can get free tickets, I'm absolutely going. Absolutely. It's a once in a lifetime, isn't it? Like, and I don't know if you saw this because I know you were heading back to Asman Studios from the ESPN radio studios. Brock Bowers went on IR. The Raiders put him on IR. So the Raiders have this is like a perfect tank move because the Raiders, like, Jake, I don't think people realize the Raiders could very easily win this week and next week.
Correct. And Pete Carroll, what does he care about the future? He knows he's getting fired. He wants to win.
This is a very similar to Lovie Smith, and this is right up your alley because you were there when Lovie Smith won that ridiculous game week I guess that was week 18 at that point. I guess they were playing 17 games at that point. If they weren't, I apologize to everyone out there. But that final week win in Indy, inexplicably, which at the time we thought, oh no, it cost Houston Bryce Young. They ended up getting CJ Stroud. It ended up working out for everyone because Bryce Young is now good. But yeah, Jake, the Jet fans should be rooting hard for the Giants to win on Sunday.
Because let's talk about that, because I've heard mixed opinions on this, because some people fall under the school of thought, hey, root for the Raiders. So, no matter what, if the Jets lose their final two, they are in position where they're likely getting a top 3 pick, right? You're in the top 3. But the other counter to that is, hey, if the Giants could beat the Raiders, well, they'll probably lose maybe to the Cowboys, and they'll have the number 1 pick, but maybe they win. Who knows? But you basically need the Raiders and Giants to each win one more time. And the Raiders have an opportunity to win the following game, as you brought up, when they're playing a third-string quarterback against the Chiefs.
I mean, with watching the Chiefs last week, I would actually think that the Raiders could actually be favored in that game. Like, that's how bad Kansas City is without Mahomes. And we knew Minshew was terrible, but the Oludekin or whatever, however you pronounce the kid's name, who's going to be playing, he's every bit as bad as what the Jets quarterback play has been over the last half decade. So probably worse, actually. He's probably in the Chris Streveler realm, in all honesty. But I'm in the camp that the Giants need to win this week. Raiders win next week, and then let's get greedy. Like, Jake, there is a path to get all the way to number 1 at this point.
Yeah. And by the way, think about it like this, Jeff. Saturday night, Ravens play the Packers. If Baltimore loses, that game Sunday at 1 means nothing for Pittsburgh. We know Metcalf's not playing. Why would they put Rodgers out there and try and win against Myles Garrett chasing the sack record? They might punt on that game.
So it'd be that's an interesting decision for Tomlin, because I'm assuming that Lamar is not going to play on Saturday night. I know that the reports are that he's questionable, but I'm assuming Lamar is not going to play. I think Lamar is very happy to just sit out the string at this point, and I can't really blame him. I didn't think of it that way, because I always thought that, all right, Pittsburgh's preparing to play like a normal game on Sunday, and then the week 18 game against Baltimore is the game that Tomlin would sit everyone. But you bring up a valid point. Like, you're probably better off just playing the 2 games as preseason games, right? Like, play Rodgers for a half of both of them to keep them fresh, and then you're playing either Buffalo or the Chargers more likely than not in round 1. I didn't even think about that. But look, Cleveland's also capable of beating the Bengals week 18. Like,
correct.
We know that. Like that's the thing. Like, and this is why the New England win on Sunday kind of actually hurt the Jets in the way to get to the number 1 pick, Jake. Because if New England, if Baltimore had held, then New England and Buffalo are both playing out the string. Like, they're both playing out the string for the 1 seed. Even though you can make the argument, and I don't know how McDermott and everyone else would feel on this. If you're the Bills, I'd much rather play Pittsburgh than anyone else that's possible to be in the AFC field, right? Like, they're by far the worst team that Buffalo could play as a wild card. Jacksonville's playing awesome football right now. Houston already beat them, and I don't love the idea of playing New England a 3rd time if I'm the Bills. So, boy, it's interesting. But I think the Jets are going to get clocked on Sunday. Like, we have seen a lot of bad football over this year. I think it's hard to get worse than a Jacksonville game, because at this point for me, the Jacksonville game and I think the Dallas game were the 2 worst efforts this team's had this year. Realistically speaking, like, I know the first Bills game was awful. The second Miami game was awful, but I think the Jacksonville game and the Dallas game were the 2 worst efforts. It would not shock me if this is similar to that. Even though, I actually thought the Jet defense was fine until the game got out of control last week. Like,
they were good for a half.
Yeah, they were fine for a half. I was pretty confident that the Jets were going to lose last week. I think Shuck's actually fine. Like, it just also shows like how bad Like, and I get why Aaron Glenn got the job at the time. And I know this is not what we were planning on talking about at all, Jake, but I at least want to get this off my chest here, where this kind of looks like what was a truly awesome year to hire a head coach. When you look at the guys who got hired, like we talked about Vrabel a few weeks ago, realistically speaking, when the Patriot job opened, he was not coming. And that was the classic. If he had just fired Saleh going into 24, you would have had Vrabel and you wouldn't have even had to worry about New England, but we already had the discussion. The Jets didn't even bother talking to Liam Cohen, which at the time I thought was stupid.
Or did they know Liam Cohen was never taking their job?
Well, look, we knew that with Ben Johnson, right? Like,
yep, he said no.
We knew that, like, all right, don't even waste your time. As soon as Eberflus got fired the day on Black Friday last year, like everyone in NFL circles knew that Ben Johnson was taking the Bear job. Like everyone knew that, assuming that the Bears wanted him, and obviously the Bears didn't. Now the Bears are going to win the NFC North in year one, which is probably my only good preseason prediction I have at this point. And then Kellen Moore, like New Orleans has done what we would have hoped the Jets would have done the last 2 months, right?
Yep, great point.
Like they were awful at the beginning of the year. They are playing a young quarterback now after playing Rattler, who is terrible, but we knew that, other than our boxing friend, as we know. But I would say that if you look like at trajectories of New Orleans versus the Jets, like it's probably better off that the Jets are bottoming out right now. And I think they're going to end up in the top three, Jake. They're going to end up in the top three. It's just a matter of can they get all the way to the mountaintop of the top pick or number two? Because if you get in the top two, you're guaranteed either Mendoza or Moore without trading any of your assets.
And you agree with me? Moore's definitely declaring, right? I've been saying for months.
I would, with all the noise I've heard about Dylan Raiola going to Oregon, I would be shocked if Dante Moore is not in the NFL draft this year.
The two biggest dates for the Jets, Jeff, obviously the last two regular season dates, and then January 15th when Dante Moore would have to officially declare for the draft.
Yeah, Jake, because Mizzou is in the market for a quarterback, because Bo Pribula is transferring, and there's a question of will Zellers be the guy? And I know that the audience doesn't care, but this kind of does play into the Jets. Raiola's name had come up as a lot for a Missouri quarterback, but then every single turn when I've asked people that would know a lot better than me, it's all been Oregon or Louisville for Raiola. So he's obviously not going to Oregon if Dante Moore's there, right? So that kind of tells you, like, if I think Oregon's going to lose to Texas Tech on New Year's Day, personally, but if Oregon makes a run to the national title game, like, the writing's on the wall, like Dante Moore's leaving. So yeah, it's you're right that it's these last 2 days of the regular season. It's January 15th because of Mendoza and Moore are both in this draft. And again, I still have my questions about both of them. I have a lot more questions about Dante than I do Fernando at this point. But if you end up with the top two, then you're guaranteed the quarterback and you don't have to trade any of your assets, which is gigantic for the rebuild moving forward, Jake, because we've had this discussion the last 2 weeks, right? Like, if you love one of these two quarterbacks, you have the assets to move up. But if you're picking one or two, you're guaranteed one of these two guys. And if you like them both, you're taking them. The only question would be what happens if you love one and you don't love the other. That's when this gets a little convoluted, right? That's really the one scenario. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. But again, I think the Jets are getting clocked on Sunday, and I think the Jets are losing. I don't care if it's Mitch Trubisky. The Jets are losing to Buffalo. Like, that's probably going to be the last. That more likely than not going to be the last game in the history of that stadium. Also,
correct. And they're not losing to the Jets. They're not.
Yeah, like the Jets are absolutely losing that game, even if Buffalo plays their backup. So we'll see. We'll see, man. I feel pretty darn confident that this team is going to lose the last two and be in the top three, because one of the We just have to avoid the Raiders and the Giants tying, Jake. That's the only thing we have to avoid at this point.
Which those teams are so bad, you can't completely rule it out. My
Yeah,
God.
but here's the problem, though. If the game goes to overtime, Pete Carroll would play for a tie. He would do that if that scenario popped up. He would do that. I have no idea what Kafka would do, but Kafka
what would happen?
Kafka's from the Ulbrich school of things at this point, Jake.
Kafka's horrific. But so who would get the pick then if they tie? How does that work?
I have no idea, but that would go if it's 2-13 and if let's say they both end up 2-14-1, it would be whoever has the weaker strength of schedule, which I believe would still be the Giants in that scenario.
At least for now. Yeah. God,
by the way, I think the Raiders are beating the Chiefs in Week 18 anyway. So
if you believe that, you're rooting for the Giants.
That's why I'm saying we should be rooting for the Giants this week.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders are far more likely to win Week 18 than the Giants are.
Yeah, because the Giants play the Cowboys.
Cowboys don't lose to the Giants.
No.
They just don't.
Dak might not play, though. There's some rumblings of just shutting him down for that game.
Okay, so Joe Milton will beat him. That's fine.
Yeah. Look, the Giants are horrific, so I'm right there with you. Just you never know. We're presented by FanDuel. Everyone should bet on all the NBA games tomorrow and the 3 god-awful, if we're being honest, NFL games tomorrow, so at least put some money on it. Make it more interesting. Jeff, here's your latest look at the Jets-Patriots spread. It was 12.5 as of yesterday.
Nice.
It has moved to 13.5. This number cannot be high enough for me to not take the Patriots. Again, the Jets were bad when they were trying to win. Now they're not doing everything in their power to win, starting Brady Cook for another game here. I love the Pats in the spot. How could anyone in their right mind actually take the Jets, no matter what the spread ends up being here?
Yeah, the only thing I would say is 13.5 on the road in the NFL is an absurd number.
It's going to be a home game for the Patriots.
I probably. And what, New England wins, they win the division. So first time since 19. I don't know. I'm not going to bet it, but I do expect the Jets to get handled pretty easily. And again, I'm curious to see how the defense looks. Is it another pattern like last week where they actually look reasonable for a half, and then once they've been on the field for essentially the whole game, they just get clobbered in the second half? That wouldn't shock me if we look up at halftime and then all of a sudden it's it's only 10-6 at halftime, and then we look up at the end of the game and it's New England won 38-13. Or something along those lines, Jake.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. It is the holiday spirit. I'm in the giving mood. Ladies and gentlemen, because we pushed back the raffle a couple days here because of the fact we're not doing as many shows since the holiday season, all memberships that are gifted during the show and super chats that qualify of $10 or higher are boosted double the fun. That's right. So if you get 5 memberships, you're actually getting 10, so on and so forth. A little holiday special here. Friday, we're going to raffle away a signed Nick Mangold signed football by each member of the New York Sack Exchange, and a signed Vinny Testaverde jersey. So if you gift the membership, 1 is actually 2, 5 is actually 10, 10 is 20, so on and so forth. A little listener appreciation. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Everyone's still tuned in to a daily Jets talk show about a 3-12 team that has missed the playoffs for 15 seasons and counting and hasn't won more than 7 games in a decade. That's how you know the Jet fan base is built differently, Jeff.
Yeah, we're good with pain, my friend. Good with pain.
Hey, don't let go of the rope, man. That's what Aaron Glenn said. And you know what? The rope is around my neck.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Yeah. Would be nice. Again, it's just the way that everything's played out. Winning one of these last 2 games would be pretty much a disaster. but again, show me this is the problem of what the nature of this whole season has turned into. And
right, don't be 23 points worse than the Saints. Be competitive.
Yeah, well, again, they were competitive for 40 minutes last week, which is not good enough against the team that isn't good.
They made a 4-10 team look like they were like the 2009 Super Bowl winning Saints.
Well, I don't know about that, but you're in the scenario where I'll go back to the point that I didn't finish before. Like the Saints, again, winning games down the stretch would not be good because getting the draft pick is by far the most important thing. Oh, and by the way, them starting Brady Cook is an acknowledgement of that fact too, Jake. Like Tyrod Taylor is healthy. Like the fact that they're still throwing Cook out there, I think Muji, and I have to give Glenn and Muji credit for this, for at least acknowledging reality, being like, hey, we still need to see if this kid is capable of being the backup moving forward, which, again, it's only a 2.5 game sample size, but odds are that Brady Cook is a practice squad quarterback, more likely than not, or number 3. But they're at least acknowledging reality without actually outwardly saying it, which is what you kind of want, right? Like, all right, this is not a good situation. We need to lose these last 2 games. All right, we can save face by saying, all right, well, we got to see what the kid has. We want to see what he has. But again, I go back to that point I was saying before with the Saints. Like, that's the position like you would have hoped the Jets were in. That, all right, they're really bad at the beginning of the year, but actually showed genuine progress. So like, New Orleans is going to be in the NFC South race next year. Like, there's no doubt in my mind about that. With a last place schedule next year, they're going to be in that race. Jets got a lot of work to do this offseason also. And two, like, Garrett Wilson is going to end up missing more than half the season too. Like, man.
And he's going to lead them in receiving yards.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a different discussion for a different time, my friend. Yeah.
All right, yeah. Let me ask you this.
It's pretty bad because last year, like, the emotions are different from last year. Like, because we were all pissed off last year, right? Like, it's like we finally get like the all-time great quarterback. He's healthy the whole year, and the team freaking goes 5-11. And this year's just apathy, which honestly should be a shot to Woody Johnson. Like, hey, like, at least the Jet fans were pissed off last year. Like, I'd rather have the pissed off fan base than the apathetic fan base that we currently are at the moment. But it's what happens when you get kicked in the teeth for 15 straight years.
Yeah, and we really never had a season this year, Jeff. Like, week 1, they lost. Yeah, they were trying to sell me on a moral victory, and then they started 0-7. The season was cooked when they started 0-3.
Yeah, well, look, if they had won it, again, I don't know how different the whole thing would have looked, but if they had found a way week 1, who knows? Like, we'd be having a different conversation right now. I do believe that. Like, if they had won week 1, we'd be having a different conversation because it would probably be a scenario where it's like, all right, how did the Jets move up in the draft without having to mortgage every single thing that they got? They might not have traded. Like, we'll never know. Like, if they were like at the deadline, if they were like 3-4 or 4-4, like, would Muji have done the same thing? I don't know. So, but long term, losing that game week 1 was good because they have all these draft picks. Like, and like we talked about last week, like, I think I trust Muji. Like, everything I've seen in season has been really, really good. I just don't trust the head coach. And the head coach has shown us nothing. That he's going to be a good head coach in this league. He's shown us nothing. So,
and Jeff, let's be real. They got to win some games next year. Like, that, everyone wants to use the Lions comp. The Lions started 1-6 in that second year, and they finished 9-8.
Jake, they were 1-7. You short-chain, weren't they 1-7?
No, I think I looked it up yesterday. I thought it was 1-5. Right. It was even worse. It was 1-6. But point being, like, they finished 9-8. Do you think Aaron Glenn's capable of coaching, in all likelihood, a rookie quarterback for a lot of those games next year and finishing 9-8 at the end of year 2? And he might not need 9 wins to save his job, but if they're in a spot where they're 3-12 a year from now, he's dead coach walking if they get off to a brutal start next year.
Well, here's the big issue for everyone with next year, Jake. The Jets have on paper have one of this year, like on paper, like why I thought, all right, maybe they'll surprise people is I thought their schedule was weak. Next year, I mean, you see the Murderers Row they got to play. Like, other than the last place teams, which, all right, you get a nice break with Cleveland coming to MetLife again. You go to Nashville to take on the Titans, where even if they improve, they're still not going to be that good. Who's a cross game in the NFC, Jake? They cross with
I got you. Take a
Plus the
look.
Cardinals. All right. That's going to be a new quarterback in Arizona, maybe even a new coach. So, all right, that's a winnable game. But then look at the rest of it. You're playing the AFC West.
Win your division games. They don't beat Miami ever. That's the problem. That should be 2 wins.
That's the issue here, Jake. Like, what if they go 3-3 in division? Are they capable of going 6-5 the rest of the way? And by going 3-3, you're either splitting with everyone, which, all right, you know what? You could talk me into beating New England once next year if the roster is different. You could even talk me into beating Buffalo once next year. But realistically speaking, Miami's going to have a new coach and a new quarter. Well, who knows? McDaniel seems to might be safe down there, which would be hilarious if the Dolphins kept him another year. But look, you're playing the NFC North, which I think is the best division of football. And the AFC West will be better because Kansas City can't possibly be this bad again. So we'll see. We'll see. But look, I'm with you. You have to at least be, in order for Glenn to get a year 3, you at least have to be 7-10 with like just showing progress and losing close games to high-end teams.
Correct.
But that's the worst case scenario. That's the worst case scenario, Jake.
I mean, again, I hate having to be this negative, but I'm sorry. I have seen nothing from this head coach that gives me any confidence. He said they're laying the foundation. It's horse crap. You're going to finish 3-14. You already fired your defensive coordinator. You didn't lay any foundation on defense. It's going to be a brand new defensive staff you're bringing in. And we have no idea about the quarterback situation. Half the roster is going to be turned over, at least 50% of it. Like, again, I want to root for Aaron Glenn because he's a Jet. He wanted this job, but he already just squandered all the built-up equity he had because of that. I've never seen a fan base more out on a head coach as quickly as many of us are, myself included, on Glenn. He's given us nothing to latch onto that he does well as a head coach for his first year.
Look, you have no argument for me, my friend, and I'll just say this: like you mentioned this with Bart yesterday on the radio.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, no problem, man. But like, when you're on more likely than not, you mentioned plan B. By the way, you're trying. How many layers are you wearing in the studio there, by the way, Jake?
Well, this Bart Scott jersey is large, and our studios were freezing yesterday, but it eventually got hot, and then I took the hoodie off because it ended up being too hot, but that was at the beginning of the show, and it was cold in that studio.
So, Jake, I'll just tell you, like, you mentioned they're on plan B already. I could argue they're on plan C already. Like, you're on plan C and you're heading into year 2. That's a problem. Again, and was it Nania who made the point the other day, who pointed this out, where only 4 coaches who started 0-6 out of the last 22 had a winning season, right? Was that what it was?
Yeah, 4 of the last 17 coaches that started 0-6 or worse actually ended up making the playoffs with that team that hired him. Here's the problem, Jeff. They were all offensive coaches.
Yeah, well, that's the other issue, too. Like, you have quite possibly the worst coach with a rookie quarterback that you're ever going to have.
There's the list.
But look at these guys, though. Like, look at other than Jimmy Johnson, who obviously is one of the best coaches of the last 40 years, and Shanny, who is awesome. And by the way, could you imagine Aaron Glenn coaching a team with all the injuries the Niners had this year?
Oh, my God. They beat 0-17.
They might have been 1-16. And then Campbell, who, again, I think is a good coach, but is showing the cracks this year without Ben Johnson there. And Zach Taylor, who Joe Burrow. Like, that's why Zach Taylor is still going to be on the job at Joe Burrow. Look at the crap on this list. Other than Brian Flores, who, by the way, should probably get a head coaching job in this cycle.
He should have been the Jet head coach this past year. That's who I wanted of the guys they actually interviewed, because they didn't even interview Mike McCarthy, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, you know what? Flores would have been better. Look at this crap. Like, Reich, by the time he got to Carolina, was awful. Hugh was 1-31.
Oh, my God.
Cleveland. Bradley, awful. Gailey, not a head coach. Spags, not a head coach. Raheem, horrible head coach. Cam Cameron was 1-15 in his 1 year in Miami. Morningweg was legitimately a punching bag as a head coach.
Wasn't he a Jet OC?
He was a Rex Ryan OC.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, of course he was. That was Rex's last 2 years, I believe, Jake, was Morningweg. He was after Shoddy.
No, you forgot about the 1 year of Tony Soprano.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Soprano, RIP. Both of them, RIP.
Yeah, how could I forget Sperano? That was the famous Adam Shine on the post game show where you remember that game in Buffalo that got blasted then the year, and then the Sperano like left out the back door Soprano style, and the entire Jet media was following him, and Shine just did a whole play-by-play call of the media following him. One of the great YouTube clips, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, geez, yeah, God. Jake, a lot of horrible stuff has happened with this franchise since on
Jeff.
Day weekend in 2011, man. I was at that game in Foxborough. Maybe it's my fault that the team has sucked the last 15 years.
You were at the playoff one?
I was.
You were at the can't wait game?
I was there, man.
God bless.
I was there. The Santonio catch was coming right at me, and I still couldn't freaking believe that he caught the ball in bounds.
Unreal. January 16, 2011. Later, best day of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knew that was the pinnacle of being a Jets fan, Jake? Which it was for as a modern Jet fan, that's the pinnacle.
It was
winning that game. That's the pinnacle.
Yep.
And who the hell knows? Who knows? Maybe there'll be a Christmas miracle next year, my man. Like I'm just trying to think, like, as we talk this through, like, what's the path like to being a reasonable team next year? And it all starts with the coaching, even more so than getting the quarterback right. Like, the coaching's just got to get better first, right? Like, that's step one. Like, if your coaching's not better, Mendoza or Moore could be really good and your team still sucks because you're poorly coached. So that's why, again, the Rossini report, like, again, we all figured this, but like, we talked about this last week because it was last week when the Florio thing popped, right?
Yeah.
Like, when he said what he said, like, oh, maybe he's one and maybe he could be one and done. And then Rossini's report came out 24 hours later that Glenn is definitely safe. You got the recipe for like Woody losing patience, though. Like, they could legitimately, for the month of December, lose every single game by 3 scores.
Right. And
like
he preached progress. There's been no progress.
Like, that's not like, well, sorry, the Atlanta game was technically in December, but you get what I'm saying. Like, the last 5 weeks of the year, you could genuinely lose every game by 3+ scores. Like, that's probably what's going to happen, Jake. And how can you sell, like, I get it, half the locker room is going to be gone, but how can you sell, like, how can you have confidence in that in Woody? But again, it's Woody. So,
well, here's the thing. If Aaron Glenn wasn't a great Jet 30 years ago, don't you think the calls for one and done would be way louder?
I think if he, okay, so I'm just going to use Steve Wilkes as an example, okay? Let's say the Jets had hired Steve Wilkes to be the head coach instead of Aaron Glenn, okay? I'm just like, there's not a universe that would have happened, but Wilkes is a good scenario for this. He would have he probably would have already been fired. Like, Woody probably would have Nathaniel Hacketed him and fired him before the first season was even over.
Or Urban Meyered him.
Yeah, well, Herb is in his own category, man. But even though you and I both have met Urban Meyer at Circa in the past.
We have.
You were there for that one, right?
Yeah, Urban Meyer, Frank Thomas, and Santonio Holmes all hanging out. That's when we met Holmes together. That's when I got him to come on the show the next day. We hung out at the bar area with all them.
Frank Thomas, the most giant human being I think I've ever been around, including football and basketball players. But no, I mean, look, if he was, I think you're 100% right. Like, I think if he was not a great Jet, which he was, Aaron Glenn was a great player on this team. There was no arguing that. But being a great player and being a great coach are two different animals, Jake. And man, I'll just ask you this too, because like the Parcells tree historically has been really good, right? Like, can we all agree on that? Like, where's Tuna been during this? Like, can we get Tuna on the phone to help out AG a little bit?
Right, well, here's the problem. I know Parcells and Glenn have spoken multiple times this season. Bill Parcells is how old now, right? Like, the NFL is so different from like the rah-rah CEO, leader of men.
Like, just like being God, I'm going to vomit after I say this cliche, but being a leader of men is still important in this game, Jay.
Yeah, but it's not the only thing. What does Glenn do? Like, he gets his daily.
No, look, you have no argument for me, Jake.
Let me lay this out for you, Jeff. All right, because
Yeah.
I'm dead serious about this. I'm not even trying to be that guy. All right, 8:05 a.m. We know this happens.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
So after the daily Woody hug, what does Aaron Glenn then do? Because we understand he doesn't call the defense. He blamed the defensive madness on Wilkes, said, oh, we're running the Wilkes system. He already fired his handpicked coordinator he had no relationship with. So that was a bad hire. He admitted it. Okay, fine. But now what does he do? Because he doesn't call the offense. We know Banjo handles the special teams. It's not like Glenn's in-game decisions, and we're seeing like real strategy being implemented. Like, he's the CEO, rah-rah coach, preaching the right things. I'm saying that stuff. I'm not saying that stuff doesn't matter, but all the coaches who are winning all call plays for their respective side of the ball, and they're brilliant strategists. The X's and O's matter. He said a week ago after they got clobbered by Jacksonville, it's not about the X's and O's. It's all about the X's and O's. So I genuinely am asking, what does Aaron Glenn do after he gets his daily hug from Woody? What happens after that?
Yeah, no, it's and you're right. Like, just looking at the hires that were like, all right, let's just look at recent hires that have worked, Jake. Ben Johnson, brilliant schemer. Liam Cohen, brilliant schemer. Dave Canales, pretty damn good schemer, taking Bryce Young from being the worst quarterback imaginable to probably the best quarterback in that division right now. Like, Bryce Young's playing much better than Baker Mayfield at the current moment. Kellen Moore, like gradual improvement through the year, and look at how big of a mess Philadelphia's offense is without him calling the plays this year. And what's the other common denominator with all those dudes that I just mentioned? Offense. Like, Vrabel from this hiring cycle is kind of a unicorn, right? Like, but we know Mike Vrabel is like Mike Vrabel nearly made the damn Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback.
He's a great leader of men, and he knows the rules. He's a great strategist on defense. He hires great coaches. How many of his head coaches, or coordinators, I should say, have gone on to be head coaches? Arthur Smith and Matt LaFleur.
Well, and LaFleur is one of the best coaches in the NFL, despite the Green Bay people trying to run him out mid-season.
Oh, my God. I'd take him in 2 seconds. He'd never come to the Jets, though.
Honestly, Jake, the idiocy with the Jets coaching kind of started with them screwing that up too, right? Like they could have had him. They could have had him after the year that they fired Bowles. Like, they could have had LaFleur. Like, Mike McCarthy was fired on the day. I hope I'm not conflating things, but wasn't McCarthy fired on the day the Jets lost to the Titans in 2018?
It sounds right. Well, because they interviewed McCarthy and Gase, and they went with Gase in that cycle.
Yeah. Well, McCarthy by then was not palatable, but LaFleur was like, that was the big coordinator for that one. And I think everyone talked themselves out of that. It's like, oh, Mariota's not that good, but it was more a Mariota problem than it was a LaFleur problem. So, and now LaFleur, to me, LaFleur, I mean, Jesus, like, I know they lost the game, and I know Willis fumbled the snap on 4th down, but Malik Willis couldn't complete a forward pass in Tennessee. And now Malik Willis is a legitimate backup quarterback in this league. Why is that? Because LaFleur is a really good coach. And again, I just go back to like.
Wait, real quick. Who was Malik Willis's quarterback coach in Tennessee? Charles London, a former running back who Aaron Glenn hired to be the QB coach for Justin Fields after saying he's never been coached up properly. We're going to let him play quarterback. So let's hire the quarterback coach who failed in Tennessee with Malik Willis. That's who's coaching our quarterbacks. But yes, let's give Aaron Glenn carte blanche to pick Mendoza or more and develop them. Great. That definitely will go well.
Jake, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the problem with all the Glenn truthers out there. Trust the process. Don't let go of the rope. He has no idea how to hire a good staff. There's a lot of alarming signs already. He got Banjo, right? Great. We don't know about Tanner at this point. My big thing with Engstrand, dude, here's my thing with Engstrand too. Dan Campbell had Tanner Engstrand in Detroit. Ben Johnson left. You didn't promote the pass game coordinator, the offensive coordinator. You had to go outside the organization for that. Ben Johnson, did he take Tanner Engstrand with him to Detroit and make him the OC? Like the LaFleur situation under McVay, where you're the OC, but the head coach is the play caller? No. So Glenn takes Engstrand with him, and I like some of the things he's done. And obviously, it's an impossible evaluation with Fields and the crap quarterback play. But again, like, how do I trust Aaron Glenn and his ability to hire coaches when there's an alarming amount of red flags in year one?
No, I agree with that. And look, I'll say this just to push back on the Engstrand thing real quick. Like, the opportunity to call plays in this league doesn't come around very often. So like I get like even if Ben Johnson wanted him, like I understand why Anstren would have taken the play calling job as opposed to a job under Johnson. Who knows? Like maybe Tanner was closer with AG than he was with Campbell. Like we don't know. Like we don't know. Like we don't know.
I think it's fair to ask these questions though when you're about to be 3-14 and he already fired his DC and we have a running back coaching our quarterbacks as our QB coach.
Well, and not only that too, I think the other big thing too, like Jake, like and we've mentioned this for weeks now, like you are taking a quarterback at the top of this draft, even with some people saying don't take the quarterback. Like you have to take the quarterback here, unless if you are in a scenario like let's say the Jets are picking number 2, okay? Let's say they're picking number 2, and you do the whole pre-draft evaluation on Mendoza and Moore, and whoever goes number 1 was your guy, and you don't like who the other guy is. That's really the conflict. That's really the one scenario that kind of scares me, right, Jake? Like, let's say the Jets like love Fernando Mendoza, and the Browns or the Raiders take Mendoza number 1, okay? And then you went through the whole process of Dante Barnes, like, damn, we don't really like him. We don't think he's an NFL quarterback. Then I don't know what you do. Then you're in a scenario where guess what? You're trading back again. You're getting more assets. So, but then you're in that scenario, you're giving Aaron Glenn a third year, basically. You're giving him a redo again, which I don't like. So,
which he's got to win in that third year with a rookie. Great. That ought to work.
Yeah. Well, look, the one positive with that is if the Jets somehow don't get the quarterback in this draft, they likely would be bad enough to get Arch Manning in that scenario, Jake.
And Arch Manning's family will say, we're not letting you go to the Jets.
I don't know if Arch, look, I know the Mannings are the Mannings, but there could also be a scenario where Arch wasn't as good as Peyton or Eli. Like he's just not. He's not going to be as good as those guys were in college. So we'll see. We'll see, Jake.
Well, this was a fun one. Jeff.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Jake, I'll be back next week with you, and I will tell you, I will have college football playoff bets for everybody next week on the show.
Let's go. Hey, we get Mendoza versus Simpson. I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, well, we could. Well, that's the one thing. Like that top of the bracket could be Jet quarterback galore potentially.
That's right.
Basically, everyone but Baron Morton is in play. Which, by the way, I just want to throw one last thing on the rookies out there before I go because you mentioned Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson, who I thought like can't play. Like I know he had that good stretch earlier in the year and was just awful down the stretch. That Oklahoma game did show me something. And again, I thought the Sooners were not that good, but when he had time, Simpson was awesome in that game. And look, if you're not taking the quarterback at the top of the draft and Simpson declares, like there are worse things than taking Simpson with one of your 2s this year. Like you can't take him in the first round, but he somehow ends up to you at your second round pick. Like there are worse options than that. A lot lower leverage in that scenario, Jake.
1,000%. I've liked him the whole time. I just get worried about any one-year starter. So Moore and Simpson that might need to sit for a while. Do you have the right veteran bridge that can hold the fort so you don't force them into action if they're not ready?
Look, Fernando Mendoza is still the guy to me, Jake.
Yep.
I don't know how the path isn't impossible to get up to number 1, thanks to the Raiders having 2 bad games down the last 2 weeks. And like you said, if the Cowboys start Joe Milton, the Giants could accidentally win too. So we'll see. We'll see. And Cleveland, who knows what Cleveland's going to do, man?
No idea.
No one has any idea what Cleveland's going to do at this point. So
nope.
We'll see.
Jeff, all the love, man. Appreciate you joining us.
Merry Christmas, Asmaniacs. Jake, enjoy your day at Madison Square Garden tomorrow.
The one team in my life, Jeff, that doesn't let me down. Let's go, Knicks. Jeff Parles joining us. It is Weekly Spot live from the desert. Hey, let me share this. Double raffle entries today. Everything's boosted ×2. Make sure you enter. We'll do the raffle on a Football Friday. Nick Mangold signed football. Sack Exchange signed football. Vinny T jersey. Make sure you enter. And then why don't we do this? I'm in a giving mood. How about a Jets jersey of your choosing up for grabs at the end of the show? We'll do Namath. We'll do Klecko, Curtis, Corbett, Revis, Mangold, or Keyshawn Johnson. Pick the player, and you got a chance to win. Make sure you enter. Shout out to Shooter, who says, Jake and Bart make a great team. Good show yesterday. Thank you, Shooter. A lot of fun to host with Bart. The full show is on the ESPN New York YouTube channel for those of you who want to listen back to any of it. Sonny Crockett checks in. Merry Christmas, Jake. Merry Xmas to everyone as well. Sonny, you're the first to enter the raffle today, my man. $20 super chat. We're boosting it ×2. 10 entries for Sonny Crockett. Welcome aboard, Sonny, and happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you as well. JB, the Alien Annihilator, says, what do the New York Jets and welcome to Derry have in common? They both have a team of lovable losers. Merry Christmas, Jake Asman Show. Look, it has been rough to be a fan of this team. But if you are still a fan of the team, you know you're built differently. There's no doubt about that. Let's see. Frank writes, and hoping the other team will take Simpson, they can have him. I'm higher on him than you are, Frank. I encourage you to check out Joe Blewett's film review yesterday we did. He's a big Simpson guy. I really respect Joe's opinion. So definitely check it. I know Robbie likes Simpson as well. So look, we'll see. I mean, we still have a lot of evaluation to go. Let's be honest. It's not just the games in the field. We know how often the pre-draft process changes things. Lou B checks in. I'm so confused. Giants or Raiders? Who do we need? It depends what you're rooting for. If you just want the Jets to be as high as possible and you don't care about being number one, you root for the Raiders. Right? Because if the Raiders win a game, the Jets can pick in front of them. And that's one less team that clearly needs a quarterback in front of you. If you think the Jets could get the number one pick, you need to root for the Giants to beat the Raiders, and then for the Raiders to beat the Kansas City Chiefs playing their third-string quarterback in Week 18. Depends what you want. If you want to just have a chance to get a quarterback and you don't mind trading some capital to the Giants, assuming the Giants lose to the Cowboys the following week, choice is yours. I think it's a win-win either way for the Jets. I'm just going to see how it plays out. Because I do think the Raiders could absolutely beat the Chiefs in Week 18. Kansas City's playing some guy I never heard of. Chris Okoladora. I don't know how to say the guy's name. I didn't even think he was a real player. I'm like, who is this guy? Chris Oladokin is how you say his name. He's starting at quarterback for the Chiefs. They just lost to the Titans. They're checked out. Now, the Raiders did just shut down Brock Bowers, so they're kind of entering the tank zone as well. Look, I think there's a path for the Jets to go out there and have the Jets actually get the number one, because here's what we need to look at, too. Saturday night, Ravens are playing the Green Bay Packers. If the Ravens lose, Pittsburgh clinches the division. They're playing the Browns in Cleveland on Sunday. Myles Garrett's going for the sack record. DK Metcalf is suspended. Is Pittsburgh going to treat that game like they got to have it? I could see Cleveland winning that game. We need Cleveland to win a game. Again, Cleveland needs a quarterback. But Shador's playing for his NFL life. Same with Stefanski. He might not be back. They're trying to win. If they could just win one game, because Cleveland could also beat the Bengals in Week 18. I don't rule that out either. We need Cleveland to win a game, and the opportunity is right there for the Jets. It really is. Now, this assumes the Jets, of course, lose their final two, which I think we all agree is going to happen. Right? No one actually thinks the Jets are going to win. Dave Briga checks in. Do we actually believe, even if we get the number one pick, that Glenn and his coaching staff will develop a QB to get the Jets to the playoffs? No, but we hope to be proven wrong, right? I can't sit here and be honest and say, yep, I definitely believe that the Jets will get the quarterback, and I believe Aaron Glenn will take the Jets to the playoffs. But I hope I'm wrong. I'm rooting for Aaron Glenn. I'm just not going to sit here and not be critical or be certainly skeptical. He's given me no reason to think he has any idea how to be a good head coach in this league. Sorry. Shiva says, if the Ravens lose, the Steelers will treat that Browns like a tune-up game, which would be great, right? You don't need Aaron Rodgers taking hits from Myles Garrett in a game that means nothing. So, I feel you. Let's get to more of your calls, shall we? This guy called in on the radio today. Always brought it. Ladies and gentlemen, first up today is a man where you guess the location of where he's calling from.
This one.
That was the first time I had heard Jordan on the radio. He seems like a pretty good guy.
Yeah, fun to work with him. He funny enough, so he wrote a book. He wrote a book about the Giants and their history that came out before the season. So we have Jordan on every week on the radio show I do with Mike Tannenbaum on Sundays. And he promised me a signed copy. And when we did our show together, he gave me a signed copy of his book. So I'm no Giant fan here, but I recommend it to any Giant fans people know. Jordan's book, get it on Amazon. It's called The Franchise, a curated history of Big Blue. So check it out.
So, I mean, it's kind of important to know as a New York football fan, and since you're a football fan in general, that should be an easy read. Just to kind of expound on some of the things that we were talking about, and the actual terrestrial radio can be kind of a short window, and for those who weren't listening, shame on you. But I was talking about how we don't really know what the new Giants regime, and I think there will be a new Giants regime, is going to do when they take over. I don't think that Dart has acquitted himself well enough for them to say that he is definitively the guy. That's what it really comes down to. Now, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have value or that the new regime won't value it. It just means that there are a ton of variables out there, right? Like, if they got offered 4 or 5 day 2 picks over a couple of years for Jackson Dart, and they really like Mendoza or more, who's to say that they wouldn't do that?
I think they would get at least a first for Dart if they would trade him.
Yeah, that's what you guys were saying. I don't know. I don't know since it's 1 year gone, I understand that it's an additional.
Even still, you got 4 more years
of control, right?
Yeah, and he's played well at various times against really good teams this year. Like he's like Mendoza's all projection. I like him a lot, but we've actually seen Dart beat the Philadelphia Eagles. We've seen him score 30-plus points on a great Denver defense on the road. Like he's had moments this year where you go, wow, like he looks like he'd be really good. And like all rookies, he's had moments where he struggled, but that's normal. He wasn't supposed to play a lot this year. The whole point was, he needs time to develop, and he started playing by game 4 for them. So I like Dart a lot. I just don't think the Giants are going to make that kind of move. It's a huge risk to do it. And I get it. A new GM might come in and not like him, but I don't think that guy would get the job. They'd only hire someone that wants to take the job because of Dart and then trade the pick for a big haul to build their team.
So here's my point, and I know that you and I disagree on this, right? I think that there is a definite way for them through free agency and through the draft this year to retain 2 first-round picks and possibly get a first-round pick next year, right? And then you could rebuild the defense this year. Since the head coach has the owner's ear, he could say, this is going to take 2 years, and say, but we're going to have 4 first-rounders in what we think is the mother of all drafts in 2027, and we should be able to hit the ground running by that year.
So you're saying the Jets would trade out at the top 2?
They suppose that for whatever reason they don't get up into the top 2, and the other guy that's left, they don't like him as much, right? But another team does. It only takes one team. It could be the Rams. It could be the Steelers. It could be the Dolphins. They come up. You get their pick this year, and you get a number 1 next year, or you get multiple 2s where you might be able to come up next year and get a 1, right? Like that's the kind of stuff that wins you Super Bowls, right? In my opinion, like when you can stockpile draft picks in years where there's talent coming out and just take down that value off the draft board. That's this kind of stuff that's can elevate us out of the doldrums. And yes, we got to hit on the quarterback. That always goes without saying. But we got to hit on some of these other things too. And I think that the more lottery tickets and the more high lottery tickets that you have, the easier it's going to be. That's my only thing.
Well, I mean, if they did that and took Simpson with one of those picks, if it worked out that way, like I'm more open to something like that.
Yeah, I mean, suppose Simpson falls, right? I don't think he'll fall into the second round, right? But like maybe they could use their 2-2s and come up into the back end of the first this year. Like there's so many possibilities with what they have going on, and even some of the players that are on their roster that they haven't traded yet that might not fit what Aaron Glenn wants to do, that would be great fits for another team. So
I see your point, Kyle, but I just think if they're in the top 2 in particular, they're going to take one of these quarterbacks. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. I mean,
they're not promised a third year. Like, I get it's all nice. Oh, Glenn can get him. Woody's here. Woody's impatient. If Aaron Glenn expects to get a third year no matter what, and this team wins 5 games in 2026, I wouldn't bank on that if I'm him. That'd be 8 wins through 2 years.
I understand your point perfectly, but the one thing I'll say is that not all teams view all quarterbacks equally. They fall in love with usually a guy or two,
Agreed,
depending on who's there in the class. And if our guy is gone in the top 2, I would be very upset if they forced the issue if they didn't believe in the guy.
Well,
and I
here's
think
the
you
thing,
probably feel that way too, right?
Yes, you don't force it, but here's the thing: we're not going to know. Oh, they wanted Mendoza, but they got stuck with Moore, so they're just taking him because they're going to tell you, this was our guy all along. Like, we feel he's the best quarter. We had the Jet reporters were getting leaks from inside the Jet building. The Jets wanted to put it out there. Some evaluators, we thought Zach Wilson, we had him graded higher than Trevor Lawrence. Remember that nonsense that would come out? Like, all these teams try to be like, no, we actually think he's the best. We got the guy we wanted it the whole time. Every NFL team leaks to their reporters. We got the guy we were targeting the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the tough part about being a fan. There's no transparency into the process. And you understand why that happens because they have to run the business. But all we can do is, go through with the conjecture and hope for the best. I appreciate your time. Have a Merry Christmas to all Asmaniacs. I'll talk to you later.
Merry Christmas to the Kyle Clifton. Excellent job out of him. We're going to get to more of your calls coming up. Let me make sure I didn't miss a super chat here. No one has gifted a membership yet, which I'm shocked. We did membership boosts here. So I'm going to gift one right now. And that will count for 2 raffle entries for the weekly and our jersey raffle at the end of the show. So it's 2 for the price of 1 right now. Little listener appreciation. This is our only live stream of the day here. I did 4 hours of radio this morning. So let's see who's going to get a membership from Santa Asman right now. I went to listener Devin Chafin. Devin, you are in the Asmaniac raffle for 2. Congratulations, baby.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
All right, comments, questions, super chats. Tank for Ty. We know who he wants the Jets to draft. He is in the raffle now for 2. Listener Deldrian is the recipient of said membership. Let's freaking go, baby. Hit the Jet chant. Frankie V's cousin, Jet Nation, says, Jake, would you trade 2 firsts for John Harbaugh? I think I would, but I would love to get the context on which first, right? I don't know if I would trade the Jets' top 2 pick. Would I trade the Colts pick this year and one of my 3 firsts next year for a proven Super Bowl winning coach that could stabilize my franchise? Yeah, I think I would. Would I trade the pick in the top 2 this year if I really love one of these quarterbacks? I have to think about it. So if you told me it's the Colts pick, so it's pick 15, let's say, and then one of my ones next year, and I'm getting John freaking Harbaugh, yeah, I would. And I still would have my pick of the quarterback this year that Harbaugh wants, and I still would have the 2 first rounders next year. Why not? Yeah, I would. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Woody Johnson would make that move. And I'm not convinced the Ravens are going to move on from Harbaugh. I know they're having a tough year, but it doesn't feel like a Steve Bisciotti move. Jet Nation says, do it like what the Broncos did. Fired Nate Hackett after 1 year, then traded for Sean Payton. That's what a good organization would do. We're the Jets.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Don't let go of the rope, man. Get your daily hugs instead.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Gifted membership from Welcome to Something. In the raffle for 2, Christopher Phillips is the recipient of the membership. All right, more of your calls here. We got some legends on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, time to say hello to this guy.
Ricky, New York is my name. Florida State is my game. My internet sucks, call him Jake. When it's time to smoke and debate, the New York Jets are gonna win. My team since I was a kid. My New York Jets are gonna win. I'm Ricky, New York. Don't forget that. Florida State, bitches. New York Jets. We got this shit. It's time to win, baby. Win. Can't wait.
Hey, how's it going, Jake?
Well, Ricky, I'll tell you what. It's going a lot better now that I got the Ricky NY Christmas present in the mail yesterday. Let's go, baby.
You show the back of it, too. Oh, no shit. Okay. I just as I suspected, the invoice said that it was less money, and they did not print the back of it. So
what was supposed to be on the back?
It should have said "rock out with your mock out."
Oh,
because
well, you know what? Maybe it's for the best. It doesn't say that.
it might be. At any rate,
well, thank you for sending it, Ricky. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. And well, I'm about to send something else too. So Merry Christmas to the Asmaniacs and whoever ends up receiving these.
Wow, Ricky on the call, gifting a 5 spot. Ricky, that is worth 10. You are in the raffle. Let's go.
Jets, Jets.
Here's who got it, Ricky. JJ Star, Chris Daly, Matt Shaw, 78, and Hector. Oh, Boy Green got it too. Look at that. Boy Green and Hector Cabrera all receiving a gifted membership from Ricky NY.
Right on. Well, I just popped in real quick to wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish all the Asmaniacs a Merry Christmas. And also to invite you tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, I'm doing a non-Jets show, just a hangout for everybody after all the holiday festivities are done. And so hopefully you'll be able to pop by the channel for that. But everybody have a Merry Christmas, man. I hope everybody has a terrific holiday and enjoy time with the family.
Ricky, you're the man, my friend. Great call. Appreciate the shirt. Ricky NY Live. Let's see. We got some more people on the line right now who want in on the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is gearing up for the sleigh ride with his reindeer of his life.
It's Santa Beast time from the global studios. It's not really an attic. You can't lace his boots or wipe his ass. Merry Christmas, bitches.
Merry Christmas, Jake. Ho, 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 ho. The Santa Claus of all Santas are all here, all decked out with the Harley Davidson glasses and the pimp ride. Anybody want to take a look at this year's tree?
Yes, Santa. Yes, Santa Beast.
Let's go to my second phone. The second one is at the bottom here. Take a look here. You see it?
I do see it. All right. I'm going to pull it up on the screen, Beast. Go ahead.
Look at that tree.
Oh, yeah. Look at that thing.
There's the town of Bethlehem right there with the
Hey,
stars.
move your fat fingers. They're covering the camera. There you go.
Look at that tree. Look at that town of Bethlehem. Took me several years to pay for every single thing. The lights on here are tremendous. The stars on here. Baby Ruth is on here. Butterfinger's on here. Everything you see on here is real deal. And tonight, at 7 o'clock tonight, can we switch to do another shot? At 7 tonight, Santa Claus is on his way. We're starting. You know where we're starting? In Asia. Then we're going to go down to Africa. Then we're going to go to Europe. Then we're going to come back home and then drop everything off and then go down to South America. And then finally, all the way up to Canada. Sure, I'm not a big fan of Canada, but you know what? We got some Jet fans up there in the great, great, lovable country of Canada. But don't worry, our boys will be just fine. We just got to watch for the punches because I know the Patriots are going to give us this. You know what I mean by this, right? Yeah, we're going to get punched around like a punching bag. That's not going to be the walk in the park. But and how do you like your Yankee DVD? Did you get a chance to review it yet?
Oh, I love it. Thank you for sending me the Yankeeography DVD.
Hey, that was the best Christmas present. Yeah, hey, there's more to come. And remember, folks, As someone once said, like a pimp says to his hoes. Keep them coming.
It's Jack the Beast time from the global studios. It's not really an attic. You can't lace his boots or wipe his ass. Merry Christmas, bitches!
Beastbreaker. One of the greats. You won't find that anywhere else. Taylor in the raffle for 4. All memberships and super chats that qualify are boosted. Double the fun. Only show on the day. No show tomorrow because of Christmas. So a little listener appreciation. Thank you all for continuing to tune in about a football team that stinks. We're all down on Glenn, but we know he's not going anywhere. How can he coach, actually improve from what we've seen, and do people magically get smarter? Well, one, the roster being better would help him. We all understand that. The quarterback situation would be the biggest thing. I think the thing he has to learn from, though, is what happened with the Wilkes hire. Why was that your hire? And hire someone that either is going to run your system so you could be more involved in your defense, or hire a great candidate that is a defensive expert and actually get that hire right. I don't mind if it's a first-timer. You better be right. Right? If you can't get like Jim Schwartz or, Wink Martindale, it's on Aaron Glenn to recruit a big-time defensive coordinator because you're not going to get a third pick. So get the hire correct. That's where it starts. Obviously, the personnel matters too. And look, review your offensive staff. Why is Charles London our quarterback coach? Can we add a real offensive expert that is knowledgeable in coaching quarterbacks to the staff? Art Scott and I were talking about this yesterday. He suggested Trent Dilfer, who he knows, and has coached at the collegiate and high school level. Obviously, was on ESPN as an analyst, played for a long time. Like, that, to me, is something that, the Jets should look into. Mark Brunell. Glenn was with him in Detroit on the Lions staff. What's he up to? They need their Josh McCown that's teaching Mendoza or Moore or Simpson. They need someone like that on the staff. That, to me, is what Glenn can do and learn from the mistakes. Hire a good DC, improve the offensive staff around Engstrand, because I don't think Engstrand's getting fired, and I don't think he's done god-awful where, I can't see Tanner actually being okay. It's a tough evaluation. Make improvements there. That's where it starts. And don't misevaluate your own roster again. No excuse. You brought back a lot of the same players because you thought you could take Salah's team and win with him because Salah was so bad. Turns out he wasn't as bad as you, at least through a year. So prove yourself, because I don't think he's going anywhere either. But I got to see it before I start to buy in again. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank P, a 50 spot. Wow, Santa Claus, Frank P. Let's go, baby. He is in the raffle with this $50 super chat. Double the fun, 20 raffle tickets for our guy, Frank P. Let's go.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Let's go, Frank. M123 is in the raffle for 2. M, thank you. Appreciate you. Oak says, sad to see Wilkes go. Was really rooting for him to take Glenn's job in the offseason. This has got to be rage bait, right? I can't fall for that. You got to make it less obvious you're trying to get me to explode than this one. Thank you for the super chat, though. Ricky wants to know thoughts on Deshae Towson as a DC. I don't know enough about him, to be honest with you, Ricky. I've heard that name thrown around. I mean, logically, I see the connection. Glenn wouldn't know him from Detroit. They overlapped last year. Right now, he's the Lions on defense passing game coordinator and DB coach. My preference, if I could only pick one name, and I talked about it with Bart yesterday, Jim Leonard. And obviously, Bart knows how smart Jim Leonard is. They were teammates. Bart said, by the way, he's not going to do it. He basically said he's not going to coach till his kids are done with school. But he's like, money does talk. But the Jets aren't. He has no relationship with Glenn. It's not like if Rex was the head coach. Again, I would love Leonard. If you want an experienced guy, Jim Schwartz would be ideal. Raheem Morris could be a name too. The Falcons fire him. Apparently Todd Bowles wouldn't be an option, but him and Glenn are close. I was talking to Samini about that. Bowles might retire if he gets fired. And Rich doesn't think he'd necessarily come back to the Jets. I don't know. But like that's kind of what I believe we're looking at. All right, more of your calls. We got some great people still to come on the line, including a man who is in the process of redoing his underground lair and turning it into a magical office. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Purple belt Mike, he loves the dark night. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that purple belt Mike. Purple belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
What's up, Jake?
Hello, PBM.
So I couldn't listen to the entire show yesterday, but did Bart have any suggestions of who he thinks the DC should be?
We mentioned Leonard. I don't know. I'm trying to remember if we talked about any other specific names. I think the biggest thing we talked about, we mentioned Jim Leonard.
Got it. Yeah, I was just curious to see what he thinks, since obviously that position is open, and he's like in the know who he would think should get it. But either way, if we lose out, are we guaranteed to be top 3? Or is there a chance that we're
let's see. If the Jets lose out, and as long as either the Raiders or the Giants win and there's no tie.
Well, yeah, assuming the Raiders and Giants don't tie, yeah.
Well, let's look at the strength of the schedule. The Jets is 539, the Raiders 545, Giants 530. Yeah, no guarantee. No, if the Raiders win, then it would be a guarantee that the Jets would be in the top 3.
All right, so then we should root for the Raiders, because basically after the breakdown that Blewett did, Simpson could be good. So take him at 3 then. He's not going to make it to the second round. It's not going to happen. He's not making it past McVay, so might as well take him at 3.
I think it's way too early to know where he's going to go.
Yeah. All right. I was just curious about the DC and that. So lose out. Let's get a quarterback. Don't trade up.
That office is coming together, Mike.
Yeah, I have. So this all over here is all the famous people that me and my wife have met. So it's like Stan Lee up there and John Barenthal, Gal Gadot and Henry Cavill, Stephen Amell, Willa Holland is there. That right there, that's Charlie Cox. Above you can't see is Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa is right there. Katie Cassidy. I say everybody. John Barenthal. Yeah, there's a couple more I gotta throw up there, but not bad.
Stan Lee. Who's Stan Lee?
Come on, you know who Stan Lee is.
Stan Lee.
Do you really not know who Stan Lee is?
Who's Stan Lee?
Who is he?
Oh.
Eddie in Hoboken. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
What's happening?
Hey, Mike, Stan Lee died today. Did you ever meet the guy? What do you think of him?
Stan Lee.
Yeah, Stan Lee.
I
Never
don't know
heard
who
of
he
Stan
is.
Lee?
Don't know who he is, no.
Jesus.
Who is he? Who is he? Who is Stan Lee?
He was one of the creators of Marvel Comics.
Oh, who cares? Eddie.
That's the best eulogy of all time. Who cares?
People are saying it's not true, so let me just show you guys up close. So that's me and my wife at Comic-Con. Stan Lee.
Oh my God, you guys are dressed up. I love it.
Yeah, and let me get I gotta get a stool for that one. And then the other one that they said wasn't real was Wonder Woman. So Henry Cavill and Wonder Woman. This was at Ace Comic Con.
Hello, Gal Gadot.
Yeah. Yep.
Your wife is a real one for attending these things with you.
Oh yeah. She also dresses up too, you know? You saw that.
Is she as into it as you, or this is like your hobby and passion and she just goes along with it?
So it's my hobby and passion, but she likes it too. So
all right.
Yeah. So it's a
That's good
one.
stuff.
Yep. All right, brother. Let me see. Hold on before I go. Let's see if anybody else wants to see some bullshit. PBM needs a picture of him and Gary on the wall.
They're calling you a star worshiper.
A star worshiper? Sure, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
All very mediocre actors, says Barbarossa.
Mediocre? Mediocre? Charlie Cox and Jason Momoa? Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot? There's no way. He's got to be trolling me. Hold on. I fell for it. You got me. You got me. Oh wait, I didn't show Jason Momoa because of the glare. Yo, so real talk about Jason Momoa. He is the biggest human.
You mean Khal Drogo?
This guy is ginormous. I've never been next to someone so big. He's hunched over. He was 2 full heads taller than me. Huge. And his hands are bigger than Shaq's hands. His hands were like this big. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is a real superhero. This guy is massive.
He's Khal Drogo, baby.
No, he doesn't look at that big on TV when he's playing Aquaman and stuff. He is a huge, humongous human. This is probably the biggest guy I've ever seen in my life. Huge.
I respect him as an actor, but Aquaman to me is not him. It's Vincent Chase. He's the real Aquaman.
Vincent Chase. Who the hell is that?
He starred in the James Cameron version of Aquaman.
I don't even know what that is.
Highest grossing film of all time. They beat Spider-Man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He wasn't in the second one, though. Jake Gyllenhaal was.
I don't know. You got me at that. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're referencing. I have no idea.
It's from the show Entourage. That's what I was referencing. For those who have seen the show Entourage, you know what I'm referencing. For those who haven't, the main character in Entourage is Vinny Chase. He's a movie star. And one of the films he does in the show is Aquaman. And a lot of the movies that were pitched in Entourage were like storylines of the show ended up actually getting made years later. Like Entourage was ahead of the curve, which is pretty cool. My personal favorite TV show of all time. Big fella. He is in the Asmaniac raffle for 20 with this one.
Ho, 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 big cho, cho, cho.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Wishing you all nothing but the best. God bless. Big fella, you are an absolute legend, my man. Thanks for all you do for this great community. All right, more of your calls, ladies and gentlemen. What's this guy going to be cooking on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the wagon.
Chuck Wagon's always cooking, which it takes. Chuck Wagon's even cooking at the game. Chuck Wagon hates McDonald's, but he's headed home to cook. It's time once again for Chuck Wagon.
Hey, Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa and happy holidays to everybody out there and to you, Jake. Wow, Purple Belt Mike has a lot of famous people on his wall. Mine's pretty much empty. I don't have any good photos, but I do have a story involving my parents and John Hurd. Do you know the actor John Hurd?
I know the name, yes.
For those out there who don't, he's the father in Home Alone. So my parents were in first class, but their seats weren't together. And the stewardess asked if if a guest would like to switch seats so my parents could sit together. And John Hurd said absolutely not, unless he was going to get comped heavily for switching seats. And he was an aisle seat, so I think he would have been, I'm sure he still would have had an aisle seat, but basically he didn't want to move. My sister and I were on the same flight, but we were in coach. My parents did deserve to be in first class. But that's the only famous run-in with any celebrity that I've been with is John Hurd would refuse to move seats in first class so my parents could sit together. Eventually, someone else did switch seats, but I just thought that was interesting.
Jay says salient points from the wagon.
Okay. Anyways, so is no show Friday or not until Monday?
There will be a show Friday.
Okay, I wasn't sure how your schedule was. Hopefully,
and post game Sunday after the game.
Yep, I figured Sunday. But, oh yeah, I keep forgetting the after games. But I'm just chilling until I go over to my mother's again for Christmas dinner. Yep, and just chilling.
I'll tell you what, Chuck Wagon. Enjoy your chill session. You know, there's a guy who really revolutionized chilling, or as we say, chilling.
Jets, Jets.
Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Boomtown says, don't forget Asmaniacs. The Asmaniac Power Rankings for November is posted in the members only section. Merry Christmas to all and enjoy the holidays. For those who haven't seen it yet, I plan to reveal the latest power rankings from this past month coming up in just a bit. We have the raffle and we have the power rankings. But we got a couple calls before we get to that. First, let me shout out Man with a Rake in our raffle for 2. Now let's get to your last remaining calls. And let's say hello on the Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline to, hold on, let me cue up his appropriate intro. Hello, Pork.
Hey, Jake, what's up? Merry Christmas. I just wanted to shout out to everybody. Tell them Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever's going on in your life. Reach out to your family, tell them you love them. Or if you know somebody that doesn't have family around, like myself, reach out to them. Let them know you care about them, that, life isn't so bad sometimes. Today I'm making some pork, making some edibles, so I'm going to have a good time regardless. Play some video games. I took the day off. Tomorrow I'm going to spend some time with some friends. And hopefully we get a new coach. That's all I'm hoping for, and a new owner. That's what I hope for, but that'll never happen.
Yeah, I mean, a new coach feels more likely than an owner, but that doesn't feel good for at least this offseason, unfortunately.
No, but he doesn't do anything right. He doesn't do anything good. We could say he's just destroying everything to build it back up. But he didn't say he was going to do that. So far he's a liar in my book. He moves goalposts. He's just an ass clown to me. So no matter what he does, he's not going to win me over unless he comes out next year and starts out 5-2. Then maybe we could talk, but it's going to be more like 1-5. So.
Look, I can't sit here and tell you you're wrong for feeling that way. He's done a bad job, and I think the way he came in and completely talked this big game, only for it to blow up, is in as spectacular of a fashion as we've seen. It's tough for people to believe again. I get it. There's always going to be the Glenn truthers out there, but there's no evidence to suggest he's a good head coach at this point. Nothing.
No, and he never will be.
I hope you're wrong about that, but again, I can't tell you you're wrong for feeling that way.
No, and I have eyes, and that's what I see. I see results. He claimed to be this, coaching guru. Let's coach him up. I can do it. I could coach him up. No, you can't. You proved it. You coached him down. You ran 2 stars out of the building. You put Braylon Allen out there on a kick return and he blows up his knee. He loses him for the year. That's coaching, man. Right? That's coaching. That's what I seen from that coach. Bullshit. So with that, Merry Christmas, guys. Have a great day.
What a positive ending. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Pork. Ladies and gentlemen, before we bring on our next caller, a reminder that he has no integrity.
Let's go. We're going to go to the playoffs. And if we don't, then I'll cut my hair. But
wait a second. If the Jets don't make the playoffs, you'll cut your hair?
Yeah, I'll cut it all off. I'll just one by one chop it off. That's how confident I am. Yeah, sure. If the Jets don't, that's a deal. I'll be man of my word. I'll stick to it. That's how confident I am in this team, man. We're going to the playoffs.
If the Jets don't make the playoffs, you'll buzz cut your hair off.
Yeah, I'm not going to go bald, but I'll buzz cut it. There's a difference between bald and buzz cut, right?
Wow. Yeah, no, there is. I'm just saying, that is a wild bet. But Boomtown is the official statistician and record keeper of the show. Bookmark it, July 31st, 2025, 10:34 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. JJ on the record
Here comes JJ. He's here to talk about the Jets. He's putting Justin Fields in the Football Hall of Fame. Here comes JJ. You know he's Gary's biggest fan. He loves cornrows and the crappy Wi-Fi. Here comes JJ. He loves the sound of his voice. Here comes JJ. Most of these calls end bad, so let's get it over with.
In this call, there's going to be a lot of goalpost moving. It's going to be a terrible call, like always, but this is going to be one of my worser calls. So fair warning to everyone, mute the show, turn it off. Jake, I'm sorry, you're probably going to lose like 5 viewers right now. With that being said, I want to know, who is the first person to call into this show and say, we need to fire Aaron Glenn?
I'm guessing you're going to say it was you.
Well, I mean, Boomtown is a statistician. We can go back and we can check. I do recall after, I think it was maybe week 3, I came in the show and I said, yeah, Aaron Glenn isn't it. I was completely wrong. He sold me a dream and I bought it, but we need to fire him. And then we got into one of our classic epic debates, or not debates. It was more of you screaming at me that I didn't know what I was talking about, and it was too early to tell.
It was too early to tell. Just because you end up probably being right in all likelihood doesn't mean they could fire him at 0-3.
Okay, but the reason I bring that up is because, you know, I feel like, and this is me moving the goalpost, but I feel like at that point I had already conceded my bet because we look what we had. Look what we truly had.
But you had a call later in the year where you said he's starting to win me back over.
Yeah, I said I like him as a person. I like his personality. His personality is growing on me.
Hey, Frank says you have no honor.
In that very same call that grow on
you
me,
have no internet.
It's back. In that very same call, I said that I still want him fired unless we went out. And I've been saying that I wanted him fired unless we went out since maybe week 3, week 4. And you guys thought that was stupid then. I don't think it's so stupid I don't think it's so stupid now. So, you know, it is what it is. The other reason I was calling is because, Jake, I have a bone to pick with you. Earlier in your show today, you said that, you know, the reason that you don't have more callers calling in to, you know, ask for Aaron Glenn to get fired after year 1 is because, you know, there's truthers out there and yada, yada, yada. But the real reason is because of you, because you keep saying I'm not going to entertain any fire Aaron Glenn talk because I don't think Woody Johnson would do it.
That's not why people aren't calling in. That wasn't my point. My point is I think people that still believe in Glenn would not be feeling the way they do as strongly as some still do if he didn't play for the Jets and was a great Jet who wanted this job. I think we need to separate Glenn, the player, and him wanting this job, which is admirable, from the fact that there's no evidence to suggest he's a good head coach. That was my point. People are still calling into the show plenty. That wasn't what I was saying at all.
Okay, so we agree then that I think a majority of this fan base wants Aaron Glenn fired. I don't think that there's a significant majority that wants to keep him based on any basis, whether he was a Jet or not.
Right. I want to have a threesome with Sidney Sweeney and Margot Robbie. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. Like, I don't believe Woody Johnson will pull the plug on a coach he handpicked after just a year. I think Glenn's going to be here for at least a second season.
I think if the fan base calls for it and we all come together and we make it known that we want him fired, I think, you know, Brick Johnson and you guys can laugh, but I think that would get to the owner, kind of how we saw things happening last year. And if the whole
I heard if you cut your hair that Aaron Glenn will be canned. Woody's watching.
I mean, if that was the truth, I probably would do it in a heartbeat because, you know, it's funny. You guys can clown me for what I said, but my whole thing was I had faith in the team and I had hope that we'd make it to the playoffs. Make fun of the man for saying that if you want to, but if right now, what would you rather have? Me cut my hair or us be in the playoffs?
Would I rather you cut your hair? I'd rather that. What a dumb question. Obviously,
it's not a dumb question because that's the whole point. The whole point that I was saying back then was I thought we were going to make it to the playoffs.
You made a bet and lost. That's why people are coming after you.
I don't care that you guys are coming after me. I'm just saying it's funny how you guys are so gun-ho about, oh, you said this stupid thing. You're so stupid.
Because if we don't have your word, what do we have? You just throw out ridiculous takes, and then when someone holds you accountable for your ridiculous take, you can hold me. I'm just going to move the goalpost. It's fine.
No, I'm not moving the goalpost at all.
You are. You're not a man of your word. You said you would cut your hair if the Jets missed the playoffs. Well, they missed the playoffs.
Okay.
At least do something, man. At least do something.
So here's the thing, though. I do have something planned. I do have something planned. I'm leading up to it, so I'm going to tell you what I have planned in a second.
Boomtown says it doesn't matter what we want right now. You said you cut your hair. Jake would have held up his end of the bet.
He probably would have. Jake is a better man than I. I'm everything. Everything you guys think about me is 100% true. Whatever insults you have, it's all true. Now I am gonna do something though, because I consider myself JJ Lannister, and a Lannister always pays their bets. So how much do you think a haircut to chop all of this hair would be?
I'm not familiar. I don't know.
Okay, well just guess how much is a haircut.
It depends where you go. $30,
Okay.
$40.
All
Just
right.
a buzz cut, a straight buzz cut.
Yeah.
I think it would probably cost $30. I don't know.
$30, and let's throw a $20 tip on there. So how many memberships can $50 get me?
If you gift 50, that'd be a 10 gifted memberships.
That's 10 gifted memberships equals $50.
That is correct.
All right, there you go. Are you open for business tomorrow?
I am not doing a show on Christmas. On Friday, I will be doing one. But I don't know if that's enough, man. That's a pretty big bet that you made. I mean,
I think that's completely fair, because if I cut my hair, I would be spending $50. So now I'm going to give 50 memberships or whatever the hell it is.
I think the chat could come up with a better punishment than that.
The chat is going to say JJ's banned for life, which, I mean, that probably should be a good enough punishment. Maybe you should ban me for life.
We're not going to ban you for life for having a bad sports take. That's the nature of the show. But there has to be something more than just gifting memberships and just, I'll just gift memberships and all is fine. You lied to this community.
I didn't lie to the community. What happened was
it's not about money. It's about your word.
Okay, let me ask you a question, right? If you place a bet on the Knicks to win the NBA championship this year, right? Let's say you put $100 on them to win the championship. And then as the season goes on, the head coach sucks. Jalen Brunson, isn't playing up to par. Can you cash out early?
You can't cash out a bet early.
You can't? Yes, you can on FanDuel.
If you placed a bet on the Knicks to win the title, I don't know how specifically it works, but this is not the same thing. This is not on a sports book.
All I did was I cashed out early, and I cashed out after week 3.
Early. You didn't even know you said that.
I did know I said it, and I cashed out at week 3. That's why week 3 I came on and I said I want this guy fired unless he wins out. Because if he would have won out, we would have made the playoffs, and then I wouldn't have had to bet.
You made a bet and then reneged on your bet. I'm not FanDuel. I might be sponsored by them, but I am not FanDuel. This is not the same thing.
So I just offered to how many memberships did I say I was going to give? 10? And you said no.
Yes, you said.
So what do you want then? What do you want?
I don't think it's for me to decide. I think you got to make amends with the chat.
Well, I don't really care about the chat, but to be honest.
Why won't you shave your hair? I don't understand.
My wife won't let me do it. She said that's stupid. You should have never said that. That's not happening. Hey, once she speaks, I gotta listen. So
wow.
Yeah.
Soft.
So, I am soft. I am. When it comes to my wife, I am soft as Charmin Ultra Soft. I'm softer than a pillow. I'm all these above. So,
what about your eyebrows?
I'll ask her, but I know it's gonna be a no.
Shave your eyebrows.
See, if I was still a single man, yeah, I wouldn't care. Chop, 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 but I can't do it. But I want to do something for you guys, and you said the memberships isn't good.
I don't think. Look, I personally don't think it is. It doesn't sound like the chat agrees either.
Why say things that will upset your wife? Because when I get on the show, sometimes I don't really think about the consequences of my words. I just go on here and I ramble on about a lot. So this dude is a
world-class gaslighter, says Leon.
I am. Yeah, trust me, I am. All right. So what do they want me to do? Because this is it, man. I'm trying to make amends.
Well, I mean, JJ, the bottom line is simply this: we sit here right now,
man of no integrity.
It's tough to sit here and feel confident in you ever doing something that's going to make good on this. And unfortunately, we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do with you in the future. Because Barbarossa says you're going to the wall. You're a fray at best. Sound the alarms. JJ. No. Now look what you've done, JJ. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift?
Give him another 24 hours to think about it. See you later, JJ. I need the chat's help with this. I need to know what punishment that we can come up with for JJ that he has to do if he's not going to cut his hair. Gifting memberships is not enough. I think we all could agree. This community was promised a full buzz cut of that man's hair. And we're not getting any of that. All right? Memberships is not enough. But what could be a fair punishment? Gator says shave your ass. Sal says shave your beard. Gary says buzz cut. Man, great job by Barbarossa with the bounty. Face tattoo. What does his wife approve of? That's the thing. Unbelievable. Hey, Barbarossa, by the way, that bounty, 20 memberships for you. All memberships and Super Chats qualify are double because it is the holiday season. PBM suggests a beard and chest shaving on air like Gorman. That could be funny. Pork says, I need suggestions on a pre-workout drink. Mix/RTD. Well, Pork, check it out in the chat. Someone will help you. Stone Cold Swagger's in the raffle for 20. Big time Super Chat. Let's go. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all the Asmaniacs. The probability for an NFL team to not have a single interception in an entire 17-game season is 0.00009% to 0.0017%, or 1 in every 60,000. 1 in 1 million seasons. The New York Jets are a statistical anomaly.
Who wanna fly with them Jets?
And you know what's amazing, too? Our head coach was a phenomenal defensive back. Aaron Glenn was a great corner. It's unreal. Bino with a super chat. I shot craps and drank Tangeray and tonics with Captain Lou Albano in AC in 99. He was totally hammered. We've got a lot of funny celebrity stories today. Bino, thanks for the super chat. Wish B is in the raffle. 4-5. Let's go, Wish.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Hell to the yeah. All right. Few calls left. Power rankings and raffle still to come. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline right now is a man that we all respect, a man that we love, and a man that we love the Cho with. Gator says, I think Big Cho might need an intro.
Big Cho.
Yeah, it's nice. I like my recliner. No, I just called to check in.
Big Cho.
I don't like all those wrinkles on my head. I don't have that many wrinkles.
We're talking about Big Cho.
My implants are coming in 3 months.
The Kardashian ones?
I put the jet gear on for you. Been running some errands early. Came home just chilling.
Big Cho.
Jay.
Big Cho.
Cho.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Big Cho.
Big Cho. Days tomorrow.
Your birthday's tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Happy birthday, Big Cho.
I'll be 60.
Wow, the big 6-0. Hell yeah, Big Cho.
We're talking about Big Cho.
Hey, I got in late. Who does Glenn want as quarterback so he can fuck him up?
We don't know who he wants at quarterback yet. That's what we were discussing, what he might want.
Who does he might want?
Mendoza, Moore, Simpson via the draft, and we batted around some bridge options like Kyler, Kirk Cousins, Jacoby Brissett in a trade if he's available. You know, it's not very exciting.
A bridge option instead of a draft?
Maybe a combo of the two?
At least. You definitely need to draft somebody.
Big Cho.
Hey, for your birthday, what's your wish for the Jets?
This year or upcoming years?
The years to come.
Super Bowl win. Jets, 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 Jets.
Now, Big Joe, what's it like to have a birthday on Christmas? How was that throughout your life?
No, it was good. You know, a lot of people ask me, it's funny, even like strangers, if they find out my birthday's on Christmas, they're like, oh, did you get ripped off? did you get like a birthday / Christmas present all in one? And I'm like, nah, it was never like that for me. It was like when I was younger, say like 10 or 12, my parents would have like a birthday party for me like the week before with my friends, and then celebrate Christmas as well. And I always got to pick out what we had for dinner on Christmas, and I always got a special birthday gift for my birthday, along with my Christmas presents with my sister. So I was always treated fairly. And when I was married, we did stuff on Christmas Eve for me for my birthday, and
Ho,
then
ho, ho, Big Cho, Cho, Cho.
You really are Santa Claus, Big Joe.
I don't know. I hope so. I'd like to win the Powerball tonight, and I'd really be Santa Claus.
Big Joe, what are you doing with all that money if you win?
Most of it I'm going to give away to charity and help my friends out. Big Joe!
What a gentleman.
Of course. You can't take all that money with you. How you doing?
I'm good, Big Joe.
What are you doing tomorrow?
I am working in the morning from 8 to 11:30 on the radio, and then I am going to the Knicks game at the Garden at noon.
Oh, nice. I wish I could go to the game. That's on my bucket list, to go to a Knicks game.
Well, you've done the Jets game, so we got to do the Knicks thing next.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know if I can do it this year, maybe next year.
Hey, just to clarify, is charity the name of the stripper you were referring to, or actual charity?
Say what now?
The money you'd give to charity, is that a stripper, or that is an actual charity?
No, it's not a stripper. That's a good one, though. It's actual charity.
Love it.
Who said that, by the way? You or somebody else?
That was the great Boomtown.
Oh, that's funny. That's a good one, Boomtown. Someone said Big Cho looks like he's always seated in a lap dance position.
Big Cho.
Damn right.
When was the last lap dance you had, Big Joe?
Oh, jeez. We're talking decades, man.
Decades?
I don't go to strip clubs, man.
The strippers come to you?
No.
We're talking about Big Cho.
I'm not like that, man. The strippers come to you?
Not recently. I've been on a bachelor party before, though, where that's happened.
Oh, yeah? How was that?
Oh, fantastic.
Ask Big Cho what JJ's punishment should be.
What do you think JJ's punishment should be, Big Joe?
I think if you're not a man of your word, you're nothing, man. I think you need to cut your hair.
Big Cho.
Well said, Big Joe. I completely agree.
I mean, wife or nothing. I understand. I used to be married, but, she had nothing to do with what you said. You said it. You're a man of your word. You need to cut your hair. It's going to grow back. It's no big deal. It's going to grow back. Just don't make those comments if you're not going to follow through. That's all I'm saying. Big Joe!
I like that we hold people accountable around here, Big Joe. Well done.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I coach college basketball. We hold everybody accountable. You have to be accountable for what you say and what you do. That's just the bottom line. So cut your hair, it'll come back.
Big Cho.
Well said, Big Joe. That is wise words from a soon-to-be 60-year-old legend, folks. Big Joe, Merry Christmas, and have the greatest 60th birthday ever, man. We love you.
We love you. I love you guys too, man. Thanks. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas.
Ladies and gentlemen, Big Cho.
Ho, 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 Big Cho, Cho, Cho.
Now that is a legend right there, folks. Happy birthday, Big Cho. Matt L gifted 5 memberships. Yeah.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Coops also sent in a huge super chat. Thank you, Coops. 20 raffle entries for you. Everything is boosted today. This is the only stream till Friday. No show tomorrow. No show this afternoon. Enjoy Christmas and Christmas Eve, of course, today with your families. But Coops, shout out to you. 20 memberships. Let's go.
Show me the money. Show me the money! Money.
Coops saying that JJ needs to shave Bobby Midnight's belly hair. Merry Christmas, Jake, and fans of the show. My goodness, what a disgusting season. Also, Jake, the recent ESPN monologue was all time. Just encapsulates what happened and what concerns we should have. Go Jets. Thank you, Coops. That was from Monday's radio show. I filled in for Michael K from 1 to 3. And the first 20 minutes is just my rant on the Jets and just the concerns I have with, I know he's not getting fired, but the legitimate concerns I have with this head coach. And really this organization right now. It's not just Glenn, but Glenn's the ultimate decision maker. So it starts with him. Hopefully he improves, man. That's all we can hope for. Because I know some people think there's a chance he's going to get fired. My dad thinks there's a chance of it. I'm like, Dad, I don't think so. Again, thank you, Coops. Appreciate you. Robert, with a $5 super chat here, says, Merry Christmas, as maniacs. Jake, besides a QB, what do you want to see the Jets address in the draft and offseason? And also, who's been this year's team MVP? Can we give it to Nick Folk, honestly? Has a kicker ever been a team's MVP before? I mean, it's either him or McNamara, right? What player on offense or defense could you say that's the team MVP? The defense, you can't give it to anyone. Offensively, like, I guess you could argue maybe Brees. Maybe if he gets 1,000 yards, like he would have like the only like, oh, he had 1,000-yard season. Like when you look at like just the stats. I mean, could it be one of the linemen? Could Membu honestly be team MVP? He's had a great year at right tackle for what it's worth. Last year it was Sherwood. Again, I'd vote for Nick Folk. I think he's earned it. I love Nick Folk. The last time the Jets were any good, he was on the team. He's still amazing. We wasted a great year from him. I think he should have made the Pro Bowl. I mean, honestly, I think it comes down like I think it has to be someone from the special teams. It's the only redeeming part of the team. It's been honestly a historically great unit. If you look at like DVOA, like the Jets have had one of the best special teams years ever. Falk, McNamara, or Williams. I think crazy. Isaiah Williams got cut. The team MVP got cut during the season. It's the one thing Glenn was right about. I'll give him all the credit for that one. I was killing the Jets for the Isaiah Williams decision. And they brought him back, and he's been great. So all the credit to Glenn and Banjo and Muji for that one. They proved us all wrong on that. They deserve their flowers for that one. I don't know. I think it has to be one of them. Maybe it's Brees or Membu, though. It's the fact that it's not obvious sucks, right? Or there's not a bunch of great candidates on defense or offense. Doesn't that suck? All right, we got 2 calls left. Then the power rankings. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. Adam and then Papa Jet before the raffle.
Adam is cool, although kind of basic. He claims he's too cool, though often quite basic. He makes great jet points, looks a little basic. Adam is cool, too cool, but basic. Some would say generic.
Hey, Jake. Home stretch, right?
What's up, Adam? Yeah, 2 games to go, and who knows where we go after that, but at least we'll know the draft order.
Who want to lose with the New York Jets? I love it. I was thinking, I think the sweet spot's really 3 when it's all said and done. If we can get to the 3rd pick, then let whoever wants to reach. We're going to get one of the 3. Moore, Mendoza, Simpson. 3's enough. Because I was wondering this. Maybe you've got some examples because you have an amazing memory on this sort of thing. Like when a team trades up to get a quarterback, how often does that work out when we're talking about like a top 3 pick? Has that worked out recently?
When a team trades up, I mean, well, it depends how you look at it. Like the Jared Goff was a trade up, right? So he's working out for the Lions, not the team that drafted him. But he did go to a Super Bowl, right? The Rams moved heaven and earth to
Yeah.
get him. Let me pull up I had a tweet from Buffalo Jet fan he put out that was bookmarked.
Exactly. Yeah.
Darnold was a trade up. Didn't work for the Jets, but he was
No.
a trade up. Lamar was a trade up. Now you're talking about in the top 3 though.
Yeah, like let's say top 10. I'll cast a higher net than that.
Oof.
I don't think there's a ton of examples where it works out to trade up.
Stroud was not technically a trade up, but he kind of was because they wanted both him and Will Anderson. They took Stroud first though, and then they traded up. The Chiefs traded up for Mahomes. Josh Allen was a trade up. That was in the top 10.
Okay.
Jordan Love was a trade up. That was the back end of the first round.
Yeah.
There's examples of it. Again, like every draft is different though. Like we'd have to look at how many teams needed quarterbacks at that point in time. How many teams, how many quarterbacks were deemed first round worthy guys? Like if it's a draft with a lot of QBs, you might not have as many trade ups. If it's only a couple, teams are more willing to be aggressive. Bryce Young was a trade up. I don't think he's great, but he's probably going to go to the playoffs with the Panthers this year.
See, that's the one that really, out of all of those examples, that the fact that Carolina has recovered from that really and is going to go to the playoffs really bothers me. Out of everything else, like that was kind of a colossal mistake in my mind.
Yeah,
coaching and GMing, right? The GMs picked the coach of it, or the owner picked the coach. I think it's still a broken clock situation in a lot of cases, and our time will come one day, even though our clock isn't moving apparently. And who wants to do a 1-year tank? That's lame. Let's do a 2-year tank because that's kind of what we're destined for, right? At this point, why would we be good next year with those 3 first round picks? Why would we try to be good next year?
Well, because here's the thing. The Jets have the 3 first round picks. They're not the Jet picks though, only. Like the Jets have 4 opportunities next year to get top picks. Their own. Who's ever worse between Dallas and Green Bay because we own the better of the 2 firsts.
Yeah.
And then the Colts pick. So why like the Jets shouldn't just try and suck because they happen to have 3 ones. Only their own one would be the highest if they suck, if that makes sense. They should try and win football games because you can't build a culture if you're losing every goddamn year.
And I think that's the part that I just think in a weird way, another way of looking at like firing Aaron Glenn is to actually like let him go. It's almost like a mercy move because the odds are stacked against him that he's going to turn this around. And so he's going to have another bad year on his record. Versus,
yeah, but I don't know if you could just fire him and be like, oh, put him out of his misery. Like that can't be the reason why you fire him.
Maybe not the public reason, but I still think it would be more merciful to give Aaron Glenn some more time to develop again and then take another crack somewhere else because I just don't think it's going to happen here.
If he gets fired here after a year, I doubt he ever gets another head coaching job.
I mean, and to your point, he isn't like young. He's in his 30s. This isn't like a McDaniel situation where hypothetically he's still got a lot of career. You're right. He is an older coach, which I think is also a little surprising.
This is it for him. He was a great player. He paid his dues as a scout and then an assistant for years as a coordinator. He's not just, you're not going to put him out of his misery. If you fire him, it's because you believe, well, he might be a great player. It's the Gerard Mayo situation all over again. We have someone that we think that could do a better job.
Now, here's something interesting that I haven't heard yet. Does he fit the model of great player, bad coach? Was that part of it? I mean, has there been a lot of players that have been great players and coaches? We haven't really seen that. And I feel like Aaron Glenn kind of fit the bill on that. I think he was just sort of above that line on really great, like a great player and didn't translate into coaching, unfortunately.
Mike Vrabel's working out right now.
Okay, sure. But even then, right?
I don't think that's the issue with Glenn.
No, honestly. It's not the issue. It's just one of the many trends that we seem to ignore.
Yeah. I mean, Mike Ditka porked with a good point here.
40 years ago.
Yeah, there's been good players.
Singletary, right? Amazing player, not a great coach.
Sure.
Right.
John Madden. Well, John Madden was a good coach, bro. I don't think.
Yeah, he was actually. But I had recent memory. I mean, okay, maybe D'Amico. D'Amico was actually good. So
D'Amico's a good example. We can only hope that Glenn gets on the D'Amico. D'Amico's been to the playoffs his first 2 years and won a playoff game each year, and is probably going to go for a 3rd time this year.
D'Amico's gifted, and I think it's great. I mean, that's the thing. Like we should. I don't think we should just wait another year.
Dan Campbell's a former player. He wasn't a great player though. I'm trying to think.
That's the thing. I don't think he would qualify as a great player.
No.
But okay. Well, anyway, it's just kind of a funny thing to think about too, on top of everything else. But I was thinking about JJ, and I'm glad Barbarossa did what he needed to do because I still have that bounty in the bank that I have from
That's right.
from before. I didn't want to do it twice to JJ because I like JJ a lot, but I would say it's, JJ and Aaron Glenn, very good politicians. And I think that's actually what bothers us the most about them both. They act like politicians. So it's unfortunate because I know that is how some people can rise. Not new JJ. I don't know anything about you outside of the show, but so it's not personal. But I'm just saying for Aaron, like Aaron Glenn, I feel like he kind of wore the politician hat a little too much. And I think owning up to where you want to get better, I think is really important. And I think that humility factor is something that I'm sure he wants to preach as a coach, but I don't think he gets to. I hope he can be a little bit more like public facing at the end of the season, be a little bit more like, can try and talk about how these were the ideas that we thought were going to work and it didn't work out. And I think that would go a long way to repairing the relationship between him and the fans, because this really has been a huge disappointment. It's a profound disappointment, considering the pressure he was under. And what was worse is that he really wanted this job. I don't think he wanted this outcome.
And he also increased the pressure on himself. No one said you had to come in and guns blazing and be like, it's not a rebuild, we're here to win now. And then basically take shot after shot at the previous coaching staff. Talk about how your biggest skill set is going to be player development as a coach up guys, insult Mike Tomlin and his staff that Fields has never been coached properly. And what planet could you say that when he was 4-2 last year and you gave him $30 million guaranteed and benched him after 9 games? But I digress. So, look, he leaves a lot to be desired. I'm not saying there's no scenario where it can't get better. It certainly can, but you said it best before. The odds are stacked against him.
Yeah, and you know what? I also was thinking the part that I think really killed it with the fans was saying, "Oh, I didn't say we'd be proud of them now." That was just the wrong message, man. He should have said, "Look, you've got a lot of players here that have worked their tails off to be part of this team, and they're working really hard." And I think if you were in their position, or if you had seen how hard they work, you would be proud of them, because what is motivating them if the wins aren't coming, right? They take a lot of pride in what they do, and I think that kind of messaging to endear the Jets fans to the players that wanted to stay, not the mopey ones that want to leave on Twitter. Because we've not just this year, but we've had, the wide receiver mixed of folks like Denzel Mims and people are just like, ain't looking to get out. Like, be proud of the ones that really want to be here. Like me, the head coach. Like, I didn't have to necessarily take this job, but I love the Jets. And I think that connecting with the fans that way is such a better long-term solution to your reputation than, trying to have a chip on your shoulder. And now the chip is just a boulder on the shoulder. So I hope that it turns around, but I feel like there's no hope for next year at all, because there's just the cards aren't the schedule, as you said, is brutal.
Well, just wait. You know how this fan base works. Just wait. By July, we're winning 10 games. I know how this goes. So you'll see. We'll convince ourselves this team can be better than we all think.
One last thing. I actually have another candidate for MVP. I actually think Brownlee on the defensive side. I mean,
he played like 5 games.
But those 5 games were the best defensive performances.
They don't have a pick. No way. Jarvis Brownlee can't be an MVP candidate. He's played like 5 or 6
team
games
MVP.
where he got hurt.
Team MVP.
That's what I mean. The Curtis Martin Team MVP award, I believe, is the official title.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't take any stake in what the Jets players vote themselves as. I had that big rant about the captains in the beginning of the season. I got torched on that. Like, who cares about the captains? But seriously, one of the captains was a guy that wanted out. What the hell? So I don't take a lot of merit.
Well, I mean, Quinn has been here forever, and he was the most accomplished player on the team, so that's why he's a captain.
And Justin Fields, sore knee. The captain's either
the quarterback is always the captain. I won't say who. I heard from a pretty reliable source. One of the years Zach Wilson was the captain. I guess it was his second year, right? Because he's not a captain as a rookie. They rigged it so he had to be a captain going into his second year because the Jets coaches were worried he wouldn't have enough votes to be a captain, so they just made him a captain.
That tells you a lot, doesn't it?
Believe me, I know a lot about what went down now. That it all comes out, once these guys start talking after they get fired. That's how it goes.
So I think he's got to earn. I think in the end, again, we don't have to take a lot of stake in this thing, but it is kind of it's in a way could be an indication of what the players think is important versus what is actually important. And next year will just be another rebuilding year, and maybe it all flips the switch. But I mean, come on now, this isn't IU. Where you have a very seasoned coach coming in and has a system and is extremely disciplined.
If you get the quarterback right, it could change if that guy is special and there's some tweaks to the team. It's been done. Again,
it helps.
Is it likely? No, but if Mendoza's special or more special and they play like Stroud or Daniels in year 1, it changes everything. So that's your, there's your path if you want to.
I love Mendoza, optimistic. But I don't think he is the only factor on that team's rise. I think that there is an immense culture building situation over there that is unheard of. I mean, this is a really unique situation, but too bad Signetti's not in his 50s, because I think people would be tripping over themselves trying to see if he could turn it around. Even if there's a transition from college to the NFL, there's something about him, if you listen to him, like that translates to all levels of football. So I'll leave it at that. Good catching up with you, and let's try to get top 3. I think top 3 we'll get a QB easily, Adam, without having to sacrifice anything.
Good call, Adam. Well said.
Jets, Jets.
Our final call before we reveal the latest top 10 power rankings for the month of November. A little later than usual this month, people, but we've had a lot going on with the show, so we're going to get it to you coming up shortly. But ladies and gentlemen, before we do that, we say hello to a man with a luscious beard. But first, reminder, jersey giveaway coming up. All memberships are double for this one show. Listener appreciation. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Papa Jet right now.
Holy shit, look at that beard! He has a beard, he's the man. Ain't no Santa Claus. Papa Jet loves the Jets. He's one handsome son of a bitch. It's Papa Jet.
Hey, Jake, you got me?
Papa.
You can hear me good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hey, Big Cho doing the Big Cho chant or whatever it is. I crack up every time. It's funny as hell. I'll make it quick, Jake. As far as JJ goes, Big Cho. That's it. That's the one. But as far as JJ goes, yeah, your word's everything. You know, once a man loses that, there's no trust, your integrity. I know it's just a podcast chat, but your word's your word. So you got to buzz cut it. And, you know, if the wife gets pissed off for a couple months, so be it. You might have to go without Nookie for a month or two, but your word's more important than that. So that's that there. And also too, the chat will remember come tournament time if you don't cut your hair. So it could hurt you there. And then, Jake, my main reason for calling is just to wish you and yours and all the Asmaniacs a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Spend awesome time with the family. Tell them you love them, all that good stuff. But I know this holiday here could be tough on some people, especially those who have recently lost loved ones. So my prayer for them is peace and comfort, and that's it. God bless. And that's all I got, Jake.
Papa, always well said by you, man. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and thanks for all you do for our community.
Yeah, thank you.
Papa Jet checking in. Well said. Well, folks, I'm going to count some raffle names. But while I do that, ladies and gentlemen, who's ready for the latest power rankings? As always, I want to shout out Boomtown and the committee for putting these together, and Gator McCluskey for his mastery of editing it all together. Shout out to everyone who makes these things happen. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and laugh your ass off. This one's an all-timer. It's time for a new monthly power rankings. Here we go, the new top 10 for the month of November. But first, a couple show-related notes. For the month of November, there were 406 total calls into the show. There were 104 unique callers into the show in November. Beastbreaker led the way with 27 calls into the show, followed closely by Kyle Clifton with 24 and Chuck Wagon with 20. 72 different Asmaniacs made an official prediction in the Kyle Clifton inside/outside prediction challenge. Top 5 most accurate this month with a minimum of 5 predictions were New Q at 100%. He went 7-0. Barbarossa also went undefeated at 5-0. Dixon Yass went 100% at 5-0 as well. Papa Jet 8-1 with an 88.9% winning percentage. Frank P 14-2 with an 87.5% winning percentage. The Asmaniacs went off this month and dominated the predictions, going 178 and 55 for a 76.4% winning percentage, by far their best month ever.
The Asmaniacs power ranking brought to you by Bulltown. Month by month top 10.
Now to the top 10. But first, we start with the honorable mentions. Oregon Jets, Purple Belt Mike.
Let's go.
Peter Castro.
I mean,
Jordan,
I think good old-fashioned THC does the trick. That CBD stuff doesn't work.
David T.
You can sign any Jet quarterback, but there's going to be no one that can get better tail than what Joe Namath did. He was
Adam is too cool.
I'm glad I didn't follow Mad Max because I think between the fastball and the changeup, I don't know how the chat would have reacted.
Neil.
what good is this piece of crap if he doesn't run the ball?
Alan. Ugh.
I was talking about Caden Proctor when he was on Iowa twice. That guy fucked me twice.
I don't know. That doesn't sound very convincing.
No.
And Charles Gorman. Ladies and gentlemen, Gorman doing the seizure celebration. Here it is on the screen, folks. This is what Charles Gorman is reenacting right now. He wants your support. Give us the seizure. Mike Perez, first time you cleaned your floor. Great point. Those are your honorable mentions for the power rankings in the month of November. Now, to the top 10. And at number 10, we start with Bobby Midnight. Hey, Bobby, go sit in that chair behind you.
Yeah, okay, let me do that.
Bobby Midnight starts us off at number 10 with another interesting and wild month of calls. Just a few days into November, Bobby made a very strong statement when it appeared that he had a bit of a wardrobe malfunction, but perhaps he was starting a new fashion trend of crotchless sweatpants.
Nice and thought, but I should have. I wish I didn't break my. How you doing, everybody?
Did I just see what I thought I just saw?
What?
Maybe, yeah.
What?
Maybe not safe for work. Bob, all the love. What did I just see there?
Was that?
It might have been.
Right?
it might have been.
Well, Bobby, thank you for walking over to the chair, Bobby.
Bobby's commitment to the show was on full display when he called in post-surgery on his toe to let everyone know that everything went well.
When I woke up in the recovery room, I couldn't shut my mouth up. I talked so much.
Any hot nurses in the hospital, Bob?
Oh, there's one, I think. She's blonde.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little high. No, I'm not high, but I'm a little.
But his claims of having shaved seem to be called into question.
I shaved today.
Did you? You never had to complete the shave. You could start the shave. You never actually complete the shave.
I know, right? I know. I got still some left over here.
Dixon, a longtime friend of Bobby, let everyone know that the rumors that weeks later, after his surgery, he was using baby wipes instead of showering. Dixon says you're bathing with baby wipes. Is this true?
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
While Bobby's hygiene has been called into question again, there's no denying his love and undying devotion to pets everywhere. Is there a pet of a Jake Asman Show listener you don't like, Bobby? Because it seems like you love every animal that you have ever...
I do. I love animals. On Facebook one time, this guy, he had a cat in his hand and a gun to the cat's head. So I actually called the jail where he was. I wanted to... Oh, you can't talk to him. Why not? Oh, it's... the rules. You can't talk to them. Because I love animals. You don't do that.
Mr. Midnight is just warming up, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out for him in the coming months.
Oh, is that Johnny Boy? Oh, God. Oh, no.
At number 9, Sean. It was another wild month for Sean, and he made every one of his 7 calls into the show count. Early in the month, he took a run at being a troll on the show, but that ended as a spectacular failure.
Yeah, I forgot to press the fucking button, man.
Who could have seen that one coming? Here's a hug for you, Sean. He did show that he has a strong level of maturity when, after being labeled a midwit, he proceeded to shake it off and teach how the Jets should be intercepting a ball properly. Gary called you a midwit for enjoying a nice pint of beer.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I don't think you're a nitwit.
All these dudes want to talk shit. I don't care. I don't know them personally. They're not going to affect me.
Towards the end of the month, Sean also showed off his free safety coverage skills, much to the delight of all watching his masterclass.
All right, here's the football. Got it, man.
Hey, this is why we practice.
For you, bud.
He has the skills, he has the knowledge, and there is no doubt he has the style to continue up the Asmaniac power rankings going forward. How are your ball skills?
All right, you see the receiver coming across, right? So you try to intercept it.
Set up.
I could tackle world hunger. I could tackle a bottle of I don't give a shit.
Gator says you have a Cybertruck on your face there, Sean.
I have a Cybertruck on my nuts. You want to see those, Gator?
At At number 8, Black Gypsy.
I'm Black Gypsy.
The man with a new intro continued to flex his considerable football knowledge and strong dislike for DC Steve Wilkes and the Jets coaching staff.
AG sucks, Wilkes sucks, and Tanner sucks.
And one of the most impressive rumbles to date, he went toe-to-toe with guest host Nick Shine and called out his over-the-top optimism.
Shine again with his optimism. He's been optimistic for...
Why am I going to put all my time, money, effort, and energy into this and be negative about it, dude?
24 hours of just offensive optimism. The guy that has one win and picked 2 shitty QBs this year is the guy that now gets to pick whoever QB is on the rest of a player under no scheme, no identity and no scheme. He proves 0 as a head coach so far. He picked a bad DC, picked a bad quarterback. If you're being positive on something negative, you're enabling it.
I'm going to find a way to enjoy my hobby.
Sometimes your hobby sucks, bro.
Just over 7 minutes later, the dust settled and the heavyweights went their respective ways. Black Gypsy also reminded everyone that he's afraid of nobody in the chat and will call out anyone that disagrees with him.
Spencer Green, Jay Reeves, you are soft. You have so much to say in the chat. Call in and back up your points. Don't be in the chat telling me that I'm stupid and that you know more than me. I can football knowledge you to death, bro. I might be stupid, but I know football. Don't be in the chat just...
The Jets have started to turn things around, and at that time, the team just secured their second win of the season. Gypsy made sure to put those 2 victories into context for everyone when he said the wins were like beating up a 6-year-old.
They've been shitty wins. Like, I need to see a good win. Like, you beat up a 6-year-old when you're 25. Like, oh, I beat him up. Like, awesome. My friends text me, like, sad for me. They don't even make fun of me anymore.
Will Gypsy someday come around and be positive? Stay tuned. Number 7.
Joe!
Just a month after getting the chance to meet many of the Asmaniacs in person, Big Cho called in just 5 times in November, but man, did he make them count.
It was a little cold, though.
It was a little choey?
Little choey.
After hearing many sounders of his name repeated during his calls, he showed off his own chanting skills when he did the Seminoles chant of his alma mater.
Whoa! Oh!
The big news this month was Big Cho was scheduled for a long overdue surgery to reduce pain.
Big day tomorrow, surgery. I just need this nerve pain to go away.
To show his commitment to the show and to the Asmaniacs, he literally called in just hours after his surgery, much to the delight of his fans everywhere that everything went well. Cho, how we feeling?
So far, so good. It's better than I thought it would be. What's going on with our Jets?
They're still bad. You haven't missed much in that regard. We got a question from Kevin. He wants to know, did you get a sponge bath yet?
No, I haven't got a sponge bath.
Big Cho.
Big Cho is on the mend, and soon we'll be back full-time, chillin' and proper Cho position. Number 6. After another 24 great calls into the show, one wonders if Kyle is even capable of having a bad call at this point.
Beast. It is a sign of a gentleman to pick one's nose with their pinky and to eat it. That's the first thing they teach you at the finishing school annex at Hogwarts. You don't get to become a gentleman wizard without learning how to do that. That is the way to do it. You do it with your index finger, your middle finger, or worse, blow it into a tissue and eat it out of there.
Call after call, he flexes his football knowledge to the delight of the viewers, and he isn't afraid of delving into any subject.
I think that I want to see if I can get a recurring segment where I do Joe Beningo rebuttals.
What would you like to rebuttal today?
It is not okay to think that Sauce Gardner is a garbage player. What has Jackson Dart done so far that to say that you would want to take him over Armand Membo? 0? Zilch? Is that fair? That's it. I was worked up there for a second. I'm better now.
Kyle has made himself a mainstay on the power rankings, and he's clearly not leaving anytime soon.
I said in the chat that Irving Fryer showers with his mother.
Somehow that turned into Irvin slept with your mother.
Steve Grogan also showers with his mother.
Number 5, Gary. Ho hum, another month of Gary calls filled with controversy, hilarity, and wild takes.
I'm Derek Jeter. I was MVP of the World Series. I played shortstop for the Yankees. I have millions of dollars.
Early in November, Gary called in hot under the collar, incensed that Jake and others ripped him for calling fellow Asmaniac Sean a midwit.
I never called Sean a midwit.
You wrote midwits love alcohol.
I'm asking you a question. I called Sean a midwit here?
Okay, so you're playing a semantics game.
Did I say Sean's a midwit there? Yes or no? Midwit is a play on the word nitwit. Nitwit is someone who is dumb. A midwit is a person of average intelligence.
Gentlemen, Sean joins us now. Sean, do you forgive Gary for calling you a midwit? It's an internet slang term for a person of average or slightly above average intelligence who thinks they're exceptionally smart.
Midwit is not a word. Midwit
What the fuck is that?
While Gary does have a temper, he does also have a softer side when he took time out of his schedule to help young Mad Max get chicks.
This kid, Mad Max, why does he have such a hard time getting chicks? Like, why can't, he's in college. I'm trying to help the guy. I'm trying to see where is he getting hung up on. Like, if there was a chick over there, I could go get her number.
I'll relay your advice to him, though. Don't worry.
Your position
Gator says it's always great to take the advice of a half-concussed Xboxer, full-time gambler, and midwit. Of course, Gary couldn't avoid some questionable conduct, and it was on full display when he needed to plead the fifth when asked if he has been arrested before.
No one here's been arrested?
Have you been arrested, Gary?
I'm going to plead the fifth.
Whoa, that means you have been, because if you haven't,
am I
you would have
being
said
detained
no.
or am I free to go?
And later getting called out for doing a Nets mock draft on his channel while the Jets game was live. How much of the Jet game did you see? You were doing a Nets mock draft live during the Jet game yesterday.
I recorded it. I've watched most of it now. I recorded it.
You wanted to do a Nets mock draft in November over watching your football team.
So you were watching the mock draft. Yes,
You could have used my viewership. You had 4 people apparently watching this. One thing is for sure, Gary is willing to look at all angles in a debate, and he isn't afraid to delve into the most philosophical questions of our lifetime, especially when it comes to lovemaking and pies.
Remember yesterday you walked 2 blocks in the rain and Nick Shine gave you an apple pie which you made sex with?
I didn't have sex with it.
Another solid month for our proud Texas resident. Number 4.
Here comes JJ.
JJ really stepped it up this month and took time out from his video game schedule to grace the Asmaniacs. JJ found himself constantly butting heads with Jake, riling him up like JJ only can.
But you guys said that the offense would look significantly better on the
I
Tyrod.
never said that. I never. Whoa. It did look significantly bad. That's how bad Fields has been.
I don't want to make this a Justin Fields versus Tyrod.
No, you are, though.
I don't want you to raise my blood pressure. I don't want to raise your blood pressure.
But he also went head-to-head in 4 official rumbles in November versus Taylor from Connecticut.
Just because I had high hopes for Justin Fields. Justin Fields!
The Hamburger, Mad Max, and of course Beastbreaker.
Beast looks like the ghost from, he looks like that big marshmallow from Ghostbusters. Beastbreaker doesn't have a chin. It's just one long thing. Are you afraid of the sun? Even though you look like a butterball turkey, I do love you.
JJ might have topped all Asmaniacs calls from unique locations when he decided to call in from inside a butthole. Gator says, now I know what a toilet bowl sees after Taco Bell.
And then when
Burner says, got a rectal exam and left with a camera. Brian wants to know, are you inside a human asshole?
Interesting.
And it was nice to see how JJ was so appreciative of the soldiers that fought for the country when he thanked fellow Asmaniac Scott for his service fighting in World War II.
You were in World War II? Thanks for your service. Look, I'm darker skinned, so are you. Maybe? No? Yes?
While JJ did have some great points, some entertaining rumbles, and some wild debates, he saved one of the biggest fails in Jake Asman Show history when he showed the chat what he predicted Justin Fields and the Jets would do next Sunday.
Just watch and learn. This is what we have on the team, and we need Taylor Anstr. What's his name? We need him to unleash this. Justin! Aw, shit.
Don't quit your day job, JJ. Number 3, Beastbreaker.
Don't put too much on this on because you'll have a roasted asshole by the end of the night and going,
Beast put in another stupendous month, calling in an incredible 27 times in November. He called many times from his global studio headquarters.
You filthy little degenerate. You're a straight up asshole. Have you ever been in a mosh pit?
Answer a question. Your inability to stay focused whatsoever, combined with being 200 pounds overweight, not being able to get out of your house. Do you think that's related to your diet or not?
You really got some balls, don't you, you little bastard?
I'm asking you a question. Do you think it's related to your diet? Yes or no?
When it comes to fourth down, you punt the ball. On fourth down, what I do, I like to ram it down people's throats.
You're a young man. You're the same age as me. I think you're younger than me.
One guy that looks like a fruitcake from the Eddie Murphy movie when Eddie Murphy said, "What of them? John Knox and some shit lost."
But he also took the time to grace the Asmaniacs with calls from out in public, often without a filter.
Diet Coke. Like that. I had a kick to it. I now know where to find the next bathroom because you know what nature calls it. You know the old saying. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Where in the hell are the damn country stuff? Just get out of here. I'm interested in some gabagool. Can't touch it. Hey, Mikey, how are you?
Peace, how you doing, buddy? I'm in the hospital again.
And if that wasn't wild enough, he even dropped some serious bars in a freestyle rap out of the mean streets of Chicago, dissing his nemesis, Alan.
Alan's takes were pretty... Alan, next time you talk, I'm gonna knock your teeth out. You ain't got no nuts.
Beast did have a very unique experience this month when the notorious killer Michael Myers called in to square off with him.
You are next, Beast.
I will turn you inside out and make you my bitch.
Of course, a month can't go by without some controversy, and Beast's cooking skills were clearly called into question when he displayed an undercooked meatball sandwich for all to see.
These meatballs cook very slowly. What does this look like? And a good marinara sauce. Anyone who puts pesto on this, I hate pesto.
Then, towards the end of the month, poor Beast had yet another run-in with his arch-rival Bobby Beasley when he received a questionable blanket, upsetting the multi-time champion in the process.
This is disturbing. That scumbag sicko Bobby Beasley.
What did he send you? What is that?
Barney crap. This is why I draw the fucking line in the sand.
Over a blanket? This was sent to me by Bobby Beasley. He's claiming this is you.
No.
No way.
I find it disgusting and disturbing.
The Beast is in a category of his own, and it's only a matter of time until he plants his flag atop the power rankings again.
It's turkey time.
At number 2, Mad Max. What are you laying on your bed? It's a very seductive pose. Just do me a favor. Next time you call in, don't call in the paint me like one of your French ladies pose, all right?
Sounds good.
The Asmaniac's favorite college student took a small step back this month, landing at number 2 after another off-the-rails string of calls.
If you plan on defense today, Beast, which you'll be the first person to intercept, honestly. Once for sure, the Jets' defensive players won't even get an interception.
Time out for a second.
With 15 calls into the show, making sure that Jake could hear him.
Can you guys hear me? 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 Can you guys hear me?
Now, he unloaded point after point without taking a breath.
Yo, Jake, what's the deal with the Falcons game? What's the deal with the Falcons game? What's the progress looking like?
Let me talk! Shut up! Shut up! Let me finish. God damn it, Mad Max. He's getting so confident with his calls that sometimes he actually answers his own questions.
What's your grade on Aaron Glenn so far? I give him a 2. Someone give him a 5.
The highlight of the month was clearly when Max's classmate, Chase Donovan, called him out for repeatedly being late to his college classes.
And I'm sitting there in class, and Mad Max shows up 15 minutes late every single day. And, he sits down right next to me, pops out his computer, and I glance over, and I just can't believe it. I'm like, what the hell is this?
That's an incredible story how you found the show. What is Mad Max the student like then, Chase?
The student? I wouldn't say he's much of a student. He comes to class just 15 minutes late every single day.
Really? Oh, wow. We're going to have to scold him.
He is quite the ladies' man, I can tell you that.
Is he off air the same way he is when he's calling into my show? Like, it looks like he's done several lines of illegal substances or has had 7 Red Bulls or...
Yes, 100%.
Now, Mad Max, were you on time for class today?
Of course I was.
Were you?
Yes, I was.
The Asmaniacs were not going to stand for this, and Jake jumped into action, bribing Mad Max to show up to class on time in exchange for premium seats to an upcoming Jets home game.
2 free tickets?
Yes, I promised you 2 free tickets.
Okay, sounds good, Jake.
Oh, God, I can't do this anymore, Mad Max. And ladies and gentlemen, I received this message over Discord this morning from Mad Max sitting in the classroom. He sent this to me at 9:27 a.m. I believe the class started at 9:30. It looks like Mad Max was on time today. Max committed to the deal, and it appears to be working. Chase, was Mad Max on time today, Chase? Give it to us straight.
Mad Max was on time today, and he was also super involved with class today. He did a fantastic job. I'm super proud of him.
Now, if Mad Max could just work on his listening skills, he should have a great shot of getting back to the #1 spot next month. Mad Max, how much drugs have you done today?
0.
How much caffeine have you drank?
0.
Red Bull?
0.
Coffee?
0.
Irish coffee?
0. That's the one thing he's good at. First half, until we meet the backgoals. Jake, can you still hear me?
We have reached the #1 ranking in the month of November, and at #1, it is the Chuck Wagon.
Chuck Wagon's always cooking, which it takes. Chuck Wagon's even cooking at the game. Chuck Wagon hates McDonald's, but he's headed home to cook. It's time once again for Chuck Wagon.
I just like to cook.
What are you cooking tonight?
Burgers.
Very nice.
Chuck Wagon came screaming around the corner like a bat out of hell, and he has taken down the top spot in the Asmaniac Power Rankings for November.
Homemade mac and cheese today.
Oh, yeah. Look at those mac and cheese, baby. Give us another peek of your sausage.
Calm your freaky down.
After a few timid calls into the show, he quickly got his footing and carved out a little niche for himself as he showed off his considerable cooking skills and knowledge. What are we cooking tonight, Chuck?
Shredded chicken chili. The tiger sandwich. And for dessert, turkey cookie.
Nice. What's for dinner tonight, Chuck? Yeah. You're eating a hamburger?
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're listening in on Chuck Wagon being a dad right now. Papa Wagon. Chuck Wagon faced a challenge that many parents are all too familiar with when his daughter pushed him for McDonald's instead of the delicious meal he cooked up for her for dinner. Is Kid Wagon yelling at you?
She wants McDonald's and she's not too happy with dish meal that I made for tonight. She ate the sausage.
Chuck stood strong and showed some impressive parenting techniques when he diffused the situation like a true professional. How did it go down? You basically said, I made sausage, you're going to eat it, we're not getting McDonald's?
I just explained to her, unfortunately, it's not the best thing in the world to eat at McDonald's or Burger King every night. I told her in the future, yeah, I would be more than happy to take her to McDonald's, but just not tonight.
Well done, Chuck Wagon. I think we're all proud of you. That's real parenting right there. Even when being subjected to watching horrific things on screen, I can show you Beast eating a booger, though, if you'd prefer that. He now has the composure of a seasoned veteran caller. Chuck Wagon is here to stay, and he's going to be a force moving forward. Congratulations to everyone who made our new top 10. Special thank you to Gator McCluskey and the Human Fund for their work editing this video together. A huge thank you to the chairman of the Asmaniac Madness Committee, Boomtown, for putting together these rankings and the script that you see I'm reading. Without them, none of this would be possible. We're another month closer to Asmaniac Madness, and the best has yet to come. Again, thank you for watching, and congratulations to everyone who made it in our rankings for the month of November.
J-E-T, yes, students.
Ah, well done by Boomtown Gator and the rest of the committee. Hell yeah. Congrats to the Chuck Wagon. What a video, man. I was dying off air rewatching that. It is so good. Hey, some memberships came through before we get to the raffle here. Let me start with a 10 spot. Amanda Madison in the house. 10 gifted memberships. The last time Amanda Madison gifted membership, she won a signed Jermaine Johnson jersey on the show. Will history repeat itself?
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
10 people getting a membership from Amanda. So a hug from one Asmaniac to 10 others. MF Chew, Slim 17, Coochie, AJ Jets, Wild One Productions, Percy the Person, TB 688, Bobby K5, Dominic Jets, Estevan R88, all receiving a gifted membership. Shout out to Amanda again. She's in the raffle for 10.
Ho, 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 big cho, cho, cho.
Unbelievable membership support today from this community. It's our last show till Friday. No second show today. We started at 11:30 with Jeff Parles. Only one show. I'm doing morning radio again tomorrow, though. If you do want to hear me, I will talk Jets. Don't worry. 8 a.m. to 11:30. And then Friday morning, again, doing 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. We'll have at least one show on Friday afterwards. Let's shout out Papa Jet, who got himself in the raffle for one. And remember, it's all double. So it's not actually one. It's one membership gifted for 2 raffle tickets. Everything is boosted double today for this one show. Cynthia W. gifted a membership. She's in the raffle for 2. She also wrote this earlier, responding to Papa Jet's call. Papa Jet, you are amazing. Thank you. My husband passed away earlier this year. The holidays are tough, but I'm hanging in. Happy holidays, everyone. Cynthia, we love you. And thank you so much for your support as always. Cynthia's a diehard Knicks fan, so let's go Knicks. Merry Knicksmas to you as well, Cynthia. Mike Perez in the raffle for 2. Mike, you're the man, and your Chad Pennington football will be on its way soon. Add me and Jake. Merry Christmas to you and all the Asmaniacs. I wonder what the Jets and Glenn think about you at One Jets Drive. I mean, I'm sure they don't like how critical I've been, but tough. Win games. Don't go 3-14. I say this to people with the Jets when I've had conversations. If you guys didn't suck, it'd be great for me. Believe me. I love this team. I was a Jet fan before I started talking about them for 4 hours a day. I will remain a Jet fan no matter how bad they are. But if they win games, it'd be better for everyone. People are like, oh, you make more money when they're bad because negativity sells. I go, that doesn't sell on YouTube. It doesn't work that way. Check the views of your favorite content creators. Now check them what they were in September when there was hope still. And come back to me. Don't tell me we make more money when the team sucks ass. We do not. It's the opposite. And if you disagree with what I'm saying, then go listen to my show yesterday with Bart Scott, who didn't disagree with a single damn thing I said about Aaron Glenn and this team. Not one thing. So take it up with him, who still gets a check from the Jets working for their media team. That's what I would say to that. Are we caught up on the super chats and memberships? We got one more to shout out. Brett, he's in the raffle for one. Brett, thank you very much. I appreciate you, Brett. You've been a long-time viewer of the show. I know you won the Joe Namath helmet, I believe, right? A couple weeks ago. So congratulations. All right. We got a Jets jersey to raffle away. Ladies and gentlemen, before we do that, we say hello for the final time before he heads around the globe on his sleigh to the Santa Beast himself.
It's Santa Beast time from the global studios. It's not really an attic. You can't lace his boots or wipe his ass. Merry Christmas, bitches.
Guess who's coming with tonight?
Wow, little Joey's joining you?
We're going around the world. We're going to start delivering toys in about 6 hours. And we're on our way first to Asia. But first, now to all you cool cats out there, it's time to spin the wheel of
Ho, ho, ho.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
By the way, I misspoke. Amanda Madison, you, in fact, have 20 raffle tickets. I said 10, but I got you down for 20 in here. Remember, everything was boosted today. Double the fun because this is our last show until sometime Friday. Probably same time we started this one, 11:30-ish, roughly, when I get done with 4 hours of radio from 6 to 10 that morning. All right, I've talked enough. Let the wheel decide who's going to win. Ladies and gentlemen, only one can win today, but we're all winners here in the holiday season. If you win, you have to email me, asmanjake@gmail.com. Name, address, Jets legend player you want the jersey in, right? The choices are Namath, Klecko, Mangold, Keyshawn, Corbett, Curtis Martin. If I didn't say Namath, obviously Joe Namath. You guys know the drill. All right, here we go. Your winner is Man with a Rake. It's our guy, Man with a Rake in Florida. Congratulations to Man with a Rake. He is your winner.
Who wanna fly with them Jets?
Who wants a Jets Legends jersey? Man with a Rake does. He picks between Namath, Klecko, Martin, Corbett, Revis, Mangold, and Keyshawn Johnson. Let's go, baby. Hey, big thank you to everyone who continues to watch the show. It's only for the diehards at this point, if you're still tuned in on Christmas Eve. So I love all of you. Everyone watching this live or after the fact, everyone listening either on Apple or Spotify. Shout out to our podcast listeners. So thank you to everyone. Enjoy Christmas Eve. Enjoy the upcoming holiday tomorrow, New Year, of course, next week. Happy Hanukkah, all the holidays. Love all of you. Happy Festivus. I definitely aired some Jet grievances on the radio yesterday, so that felt good to get off my chest. On that note, tune in tomorrow morning. Listen on 880 or the ESPN New York app. I'll be on from 8 to 11:30 before the Knicks game. So, again, happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you guys soon. Jets, 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 Jets. Let's go, baby.
Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets! Let's go Jets!
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go Jets!